boosters. There's a black moon rising. I never mess these up. We're keeping it in. That's the kind of day we're having today on Bad Movies Rule. Let's go.
All right. This is the best movie I ever watched named Black Moon Rising.
That's right. This will go down as one of the movies we covered on Bad Movies Rule. And I'm excited today to get to talk about Black Moon Rising. We got the dirt farmer Clint Bush in the house. What's up, dude?
Not too much, just hanging out. I want to say right off the bat that this movie is way too close to a good number, like 150.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this thing should have been in the weeds somewhere.
well, you know,
nope, that's it.
It's a car movie. That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
You know, you also do non-car movies,
cool.
But when we do car ones, I definitely get you in.
Try
to get you in here. So I'm sure we'll get into all that. We have the sultry voice, Nicole Freer. What's up, Nicole?
Well, now I want to talk like this.
I'll allow it.
Yeah, go for it. What's up? How are you surviving the polar vortex we're in right now?
It's not warm. I'm living.
No, I know. Everybody, even inside, we're all bundled, except for me and Clint. But you guys are bundled up. You got your
we're bundled up, James.
Yeah, I got you.
Chilly.
There's a different thing keeping us warm.
Yes.
That's layers and layers of fat.
Right.
Right. I got you.
It has a reason.
Also joining us, the myth, the legend. That's right. We got the manimal, Bob Hauser, in the house. Bob. Yeah. What's up, dude?
How you guys doing?
Are you freaking hyped for this movie?
Yeah.
After you watched Black Moon Rising, you went up, climbed up onto your roof, you ripped your shirt off and screamed into the moon.
Oh, I screamed into something. It wasn't the moon.
I gotcha. Well, hopefully, as we go through this movie scene by scene, for those of you who never watched or listened to the show, that's what we do. We're going to march this whole thing. We're going to tell you the story of the movie. We're going to talk about it as we go, and then at the end, we're going to give out some awards, tell you who the best was, who the worst was, and our final rating. Is this actually a bad movie, or is it a bad movie that rules? And occasionally, we uncover gems, and we find that they're actually good movies. And I can't wait till we do another one of those episodes. All right.
Won't be today.
Today we're tackling 1986's Black Moon Rising. Not to be confused with Bad Moon Rising, which I'm sure is why they named it this, to rub off the famous song. But this is a Tommy Lee Jones rocket car movie from, as I said, 1986. It was directed by, guys.
It's okay.
I'm
you can
just gonna say it.
Go ahead and say it.
Harry Cockless was the director.
That sounds right.
Of this movie.
Harry, I thought it was Harley.
No. Oh, what did I say? Harry?
That's even better.
I'm sorry, it was Harley. I'm not kidding. He changed his name.
What was it before?
This is what it was before.
Oh.
And he now changed it to Cockless. And so when you go on his IMDb, about halfway through his filmography, it changed. You put the E in there. I wonder why. I don't know. It's a mystery.
Maybe everybody was coming to him for cocaine.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't have any. I don't have cocaine.
No, that's right. He's Cokeless.
Yep.
Got it.
I don't think any woman would love to be called Mrs. Cockless, but...
There's women that would be okay with that, actually.
For sure. Now, he does have two amazing things on his filmography, Mr. Harley. Battle Truck, which is on our list. We have not, but just by the title. I mean, come on, Battle Truck.
Let's do that. Let's do that right now.
We can't. I didn't watch the movie.
Oh, that's okay. We'll watch it together.
We'll make up the plot to Battle Truck, and I bet you, Ted,
nobody will notice.
It'll probably be pretty close.
We'll have 7 people that will say, "How dare you ruin my favorite movie ever?" And no one else will notice.
That's right. Where there's battles
and trucks,
and everyone has a truck. Battle Truck. It'd be great, man. Here's his claim to fame, if you want to say he has one. He was the second unit director on Empire Strikes Back. So, when the stars weren't around and you needed a shot of a stormtrooper walking down a hallway, Mr. Harley, I can't. I'm not going to do this the rest of the time, I promise. Here's another interesting tidbit about Black Moon Rising. It was written by John Carpenter. Did you know this?
Yeah, that's hence the issue with Mr. Cockless.
Is that I refuse to say his name. I have a feeling you're going to say his name about 100 more times in this episode. And that's
probably.
Fine. I respect it. Carpenter never saw the movie. He wrote the screenplay along with Desmond Nakano and William Gray. probably best known for The Changeling, but he never ended up watching the finished product. And obviously, I don't know why he didn't direct it. I didn't get into the weeds. I'm sorry, guys, on Black Moon Rising.
Yeah, there was no weeds to get into. There's nothing really you could find on it.
But it's fine. It's just, it is what it is. It's a John Carpenter movie that he wrote and probably was like, meh, and handed it off to somebody.
Oh, yeah, he made a few K from it.
Movie stars, as we said, Tommy Lee Jones, who has looked like an old man since the day he was born. I feel like.
It was so long ago, and it's the same guy.
He just still looks the same.
Same day.
He looks perpetually 45.
Yeah, this is a 30-year-old 45-year-old man. Like,
yeah.
It's insane. It's amazing. He's now what? 60? He's pushing 70, right? He's there.
I think he's in his 70s.
Yeah, and he still looks like 48 now.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
There's some kind of serum he got from Men in Black, probably.
That's exactly what it is. The what was I going to say? The Coal Miner's Daughter was the first thing I ever saw him in. That was 1981. Looked the same. We covered the only other Tommy Lee Jones movie we've covered is Firebirds. Were you on Firebirds?
Oh.
No.
Oh gosh,
that was Nick Cage.
That's
right?
so good.
Nick
Cage and Tommy Lee Jones.
That's right. Yeah. And it was about 2 years after that he finally had his big breakout, became a big star when he did The Fugitive and all that other stuff in the early 90s. So we got also Linda Hamilton in the only role I've ever seen her in that's not a Terminator movie. I know she did other things, like I think she was in Dante's Peak with Pierce Brosnan, the volcano movie. Did any of you ever see that?
I did, but I didn't remember.
Yeah, so she's in that. I didn't see it. I watched the competing one that Tommy Lee Jones did, which now I'm realizing they're, again, the two of them.
Widow's
He did
Peak.
Volcano that same year.
Yeah, with Anne Hesh.
That was the one that I watched a ton.
Yeah.
That movie slaps. I know it's the stupidest premise of what if there was a volcano under LA and only Tommy Lee Jones could stop the lava from flowing.
What did he do to stop the lava from throwing except run around town?
Big wine cork.
That's what he did. A lava-proof wine cork. Also stars Robert Vaughn. He's the bad guy in this movie. And a third appearance from Richard Jackal. Because we had him just recently in Delta Force 2.
Yep.
And he was in Mr. No Legs. He's holding the pistol on the poster right there down at the bottom.
There he is.
Playing one of the rocket car scientist guys in this movie. Interestingly enough, there is no budgetary information for this movie available anywhere I could find.
No, there was nothing.
None. Now we know it made $6.6 million at the box office.
That sounds strong, dude.
Yeah.
1986, 6.6 million. That sounds like...
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the budget was at least that, if not more, though. You think so?
Possibly.
I mean, how much did this Dodge Daytona and the rocket car Black Moon cost?
Every once in a while, there are people who are so excited to have their car or item in a movie. Maybe someone was like, oh my gosh, you'll put it in the film.
Oh.
So maybe they got some free.
For the price of On the House?
Sure, but like,
Could be.
my car will be famous. Put it in the film.
They're like, we're going to sell so many of these rocket cars after Black Moon Rising.
Right.
They made 2.5 total ever.
So this wasn't I thought they just made this for the movie.
This was a real car. 1980, this car was actually built by a Canadian company, and they made it as they still make cars. They're more like they'll take Porsches nowadays and like facelift them and stuff like that. Still do coach work and stuff like that. So they do exist. They made this car. It was an intentional car. It's Porsche back aft, basically motor transaxle and stuff like that. And then
really
just a car. I'm going to build a futuristic looking car in 1980.
They should probably go back to doing
in
that.
1980.
They should probably go back and fix that car because it looks like a TV dinner on wheels.
I would say it's one
Where's
of the worst.
the car you made in 1980?
But
Don't
he
have
wasn't
one.
born yet in 1980.
Yeah.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah,
Look,
that's unfortunate.
At least it's not even the stupidest future-looking car that we've had. Remember
No.
Time Cop?
No, this is good stuff.
With the triangle cars just driving around. That's the worst one. I feel like this is at least a step above Time Cop.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Time Cop?
I have not seen Time Cop.
Oh, you're missing out there, Nicole.
Snippets. I know about it.
Movie currently sits at a 5.5 on IMDb, which is tied for 83rd out of 141 that we've done here on the show. It's tied with Rolling Vengeance, was also a 5.5.
Great movie.
Also amazingly mediocre.
Iron Eagle 1 was a 5.5 on this, and Prayer of the Roller Boys was a 5.5. All
That's good.
better films
Strong
than this.
company.
Yeah. No,
I would watch a film called Amazingly Mediocre. Just saying.
Okay.
That's something I would say.
Nicole, we're going to start your backlog right now. If you haven't seen Prayer of the Roller Boys and Rolling Vengeance and Time Cop,
There's so much rolling to watch.
It's a lot of rolling.
I'll put on my inlines and get going.
There we go. Perfect. Movie is right now a 47%. 47% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's almost half the critics like the movie.
That explains a lot.
There were pockets
Yeah.
of
Activity.
yes. There you go. Exactly.
The audience score, though, is a paltry 24%. So only 1 out of 4 people enjoyed.
Who was it?
Yeah, it's one of us in the room right here. We'll figure it out. We're going to sniff you out. This is going to be like
Keep sniffing.
McCarthy hunting for communists again right here at BMR, which is funny enough. This movie also BMR.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes, I was very excited. We should just do like a month with movies that are BMR.
BMR
all of
does
them.
BMR.
Yep. So we have to find the other one.
We need 3 more movies that start with the initials BMR. Can you think of any right now?
No.
I can't.
All right.
No.
All right, guys.
That was a fantastic
Yeah.
lead
Tried.
I'm saying we're freaking rolling today.
This is good
Ew.
stuff. Riveting.
I can't wait to get into this. But before we do, make sure you visit us. Yeah, I'm going to do that again. Make sure you visit us on Patreon if you want to listen to any of our 5 other podcasts: Good Movies Rule, On the House, Cartoon Clubhouse, The Horror Reel, our post show where we keep recording after our show. Hit us up on Patreon. The links are in the show notes. All right, time to pay the bills. All right, you guys ready to dive into? I keep messing up the name. I keep wanting to say Bad Movies Rule. All right, you guys ready to dive into Black Moon Rising?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Quint. It's our second Quint we've ever talked about on the show. And I don't know, where would you rate the 2 Quints, Bob, that we've talked about? There was a Quint in Jaws, and Tommy Lee Jones plays a Quint here in this movie. I think they're pretty close.
Wow. They're horribly mistaken. No. Absolutely not.
I want to see a buddy cop movie with the 2 Quints.
Maybe he's like the 5th.
He could be.
Junior and then the 3rd.
I would watch a buddy cop movie with Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Shaw.
That's
for
what I'm
sure.
saying, dude. All right. So Quint, a.k.a. Tommy Lee Jones, pulls up to a gas station in his Jeep Cherokee. And immediately I'm like, all right, good guy, gas station. Where's the bad guy? And sure enough.
Wait, Tommy Lee Jones is the good guy?
I mean, let's say he's not a good guy. He's the protagonist of the movie.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
Okay.
he's not, he's a thief. We find out here he's been hired by the government to go steal stuff from the Lucky Corporation.
You're
kind of
right.
like hackers these days get hired by the government to
Yes.
do that.
You're absolutely right. He was government sanctioned, so therefore a good guy. Got it. Keep
Right.
going.
So we get this text screen at the beginning, which is like, I'm just skipping over because it's useless. And basically, I just sum the whole thing up. Tommy Lee Jones is a thief. He's been hired by the government to go steal financial records from a company that the government wants as Exhibit A in some court case they've got coming up in a week or so.
Against
Right.
the Lucky Dollar Corporation.
The Lucky Dollar Corporation
Of Las
aptly
Vegas.
named. And so he is on his way to go and do this. But before we get him to do that, he's got to stop off at a gas station. And all the really good robbery guys are busy in Chuck Norris and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. And so we get this guy.
Oh, yeah.
This is like low rent. Dude.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the bank? What'd you think of the gas station robber coming in? This dude looked like he was 16 years old.
Incredibly believable.
Yeah. He's
Like-
already sweating before he
I think
gets in
this
there.
guy really is on drugs and needs money for more drugs.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah. I believe he would try to rob this gas station this poorly.
Tommy Lee Jones is as cash as possible. I mean, he's just sitting there with his coffee, and he's like, "What are you gonna try to stop me, man? Hell no, man, go for it."
This new to you, punk?
And this kid is pointing this gun at him as hard as you can point something at somebody.
Yep.
the pointiest.
He's just twisting it.
I'm
like,
tweaking, too.
pointing this thing at you
Yeah.
as hard as I can. And Tommy Lee Jones hasn't broken a sweat at all. Right?
No, not phased. He's drinking his 10-cent coffee.
He's like, oh man, in the tiniest little styrofoam cup. Hey, well, just so you know, there's a camera right there. Got your front. Why don't you give him a profile, man?
Yeah.
I totally thought they were going to say, and also he's like a spy who does, gymnastics.
He doesn't do any of
No,
that.
he's
That
just a
would be
thief.
so good.
But I thought they were building up to that.
No, he doesn't lay a finger on him.
Yeah.
But again, what is this? The 47th example of introducing a good guy by having him in the middle of a robbery, either
Right.
at a restaurant with somebody causing trouble or at a gas station. Thank God Seagal wasn't there. Everyone would have been murdered.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Right.
The whole place would have
Destroy the place and kill
just
three
collapsed.
Exactly.
Innocent bystander in the toilet. Just
People. He would have
gets
gone out in the
blown
street.
up.
It would have been like Tommy Lee Jones, the guy in the gas station, the guy that came and robbed it. He would have killed all three of them, gone out and grabbed somebody off the sidewalk, killed that guy too, just because the body count wasn't high enough.
Yeah.
The robbers kill everybody. Seagal still hasn't lifted finger. I think there's somebody in the bathroom. You want to take care of them first, and then we'll fight.
Toss a grenade in there.
I'll do it for you.
Or just dump some coffee. Ow.
Something. Quint heads to the Lucky Corporation to relieve them of these financial records.
Got to note there was a really sweet old slot machine in the gas station when he first walked in, and I was like, "That's amazing."
Well, because this is in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
But it was like a really cool old one.
And so you're allowed to.
Well, it was 1980. That could have been a brand new one.
It just looks old because we're old.
No, old to me. No, I mean it old to me, but like
Yeah.
it was like a real like
A 3-reel.
The old
One-arm
school
bandit,
one.
just
yeah.
the one old one. The actual coins came out, not this.
Not the ones now where it's all digital.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah.
Over at the Lucky Corporation, we have. First question before we talk about his break-in here at Lucky Corporation: how come every movie where we cover a cat burglar of some kind, they're always terrible at their jobs? I mean, I know
Yeah.
there was at least one other example besides Hudson Hawk.
Because if they were good at it,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have anything to see.
I
There
get
would be
that.
nothing to show if they were good at being cat burglars.
But it always ends up seeming to be somewhat contradictory to whatever. I heard you were the best, And I'm like, well,
Right.
The dude walks up and he rubs his bare fingers all over the data pad.
Right.
Pulls out his little flashy,
Thingamajig.
Giant flip over computer keyboard
exactly. The massive one that looks like
that
from
lights
Radio
up like a
Shack.
Christmas tree. Hey, I'm over here robbing this place.
And we know there's security guards around because they all got Uzis, right?
Well,
Yeah, the firepower was pretty substantial.
those weren't security guards. That was the other team sent to rob the place.
they were marching around there.
Those guys there were also going in to grab the information.
Didn't they have? I know the one guy when they run out to fire him. The one guy is dressed as a security guard. He goes, "You know that guy?" So he was in cahoots with Lucky. I think Lucky hired them because it was his rival to protect the place from.
So you think Lucky? No, because they went in hard at the end and killed all the people at Lucky Dog too. Lucky Dollar, whatever. Lucky Dollar Dog.
When did Lucky Dollar get killed?
Like, he didn't get killed, but they went in when they're doing the chase scene at the end.
Yeah.
They went in there too.
Well, that wasn't the Lucky Dollar Corporation. That was just random. That was Rayland, whatever his company is that steals cars. Or those are a totally different company.
No, in the other building, those three guys who like to beat him up.
The other team that like
The other team, they're from Lucky Dollar.
Oh,
now you got me doing it.
Sorry about that's gonna happen all day, people.
Leaving that wears mom jeans and high heels.
Yes, he was there and working with the security guards at the place because they all ran out chasing.
So they
Quint
knew
together.
that the government was going to hire him to come and do this job?
He must have because Ringer seems to know, everything. I mean, literally throughout the whole movie, he knows things he shouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He knows the plan. He knows where he's going. There's no reason for him to know any of this stuff.
It's that mom haircut.
Ringer's haircut, dude.
Yeah.
In 1986, that was the equivalent of the Bieber. That was like you were the if you wore the mom helmet do as a man. Okay,
No comment.
unmatched.
Unmatched.
Unmatched. If it was 1986 right now, you would have that hairdo.
No, I wouldn't.
You'd be in super short shorts. You'd pull your socks all the way up
Absolutely
to your
not.
knees.
Oh, come on.
Be ready
man.
for summertime.
Anyway, he doesn't care about fingerprints. What are those? Just let me rub the data pad. He uses the flashing lights thing. He pushes his thumbprint on the thing, leaves that there, walks in, and just so casually, which is a thing for Tommy Lee Jones throughout this whole movie, he never ever seems like he's ever has his blood pressure raised in a single number from anything that's happening, even though when things are going horribly wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, he's always cool.
He's always super chill. Doesn't matter. All right. He gets in. He gets the cassette out of the server room, which is where the data is.
Which probably has 4 bytes of information on it because it's all you can get on.
It's freaking huge. Like 1986, right? It was like 4 megabytes. You're right. Exactly.
Just
Pong.
bytes, just regular bytes.
He gets in, gets the cassette, sets off the alarm, sidesteps a few guards, but then Marvin Ringer, what a name, spots him. Hi, Quint. And just immediately starts hip firing his Uzi. He doesn't, again, nobody cites it in the movies. This is a movie. What are we supposed to do?
Spray it on the vending machines.
From way down here.
Well, if you aimed at him, he'd have hit him.
You think.
End of movie.
That's why they don't aim. It's like the movie would be over. We aimed. Sorry.
He shoots everything that's not the person he's aiming at. What's hilarious, did anybody else notice this? As Quint is in a full dead Tom Cruise sprint to the front door, okay, there is an arm bar in the glass door that you would use to push or pull a door open. Then he jumps through the glass and there's no arm bar.
It just goes away.
It's just not there anymore.
He's that good.
He literally scared the arm bar off of the door. He was like, go, look, he's coming. And it just retracted.
So you couldn't just open the door?
Nope.
No.
TLJ's come
That's
through.
a push door.
Yeah, you just walk right through it.
Did you
That's
say
why the bar was there.
TLJ's coming through?
That's right.
They hip fire their Uzis right into his Jeep as he's skidding away. And that's when the one security guard's like, you know that guy?
And he doesn't even respond, which is rude.
No, it is rude. Whatever. I like that Jeep. I thought his Jeep Cherokee was pretty freaking sweet.
It was nice looking.
With the stripes.
Yeah.
Man.
So he lived nearby or something like that because he comes up with a second car or something. I don't.
They
went to LA somewhere.
This is what's happening next. Yeah. So we cut to 3 guys testing a rocket car in the desert.
Which was confusing to me. I was like, oh, it's a new movie? We're just switching movies? Okay, cool.
Smash cut.
Yep.
It's called the Black Moon, and it goes 325 miles per hour.
True dat. That's fast.
Yeah, man.
I don't know if you've ever gone 325 miles an hour not in a plane. That's fast.
What do they do in NASCAR? It's like 200, right?
Yeah. I mean, ish. Right around abouts.
So
sometimes they've been a little bit faster than that, and some tracks they're not nearly nowadays as fast as that. But yeah, right about.
That's almost doubling up what NASCAR is doing.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a ton. And
it's like top fuel at the end of the quarter mile, you know?
Right. And you see the
1,000 feet.
You see you're good. You see 2 guys in what I thought was a control room watching all this, and then they get out. It's a Winnebago.
Yeah.
That they've got just decked out with all of this, scientific equipment or whatever. And they're all going nuts. Yeah, we hit it 325 miles an hour. I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Car runs on pure tap water hydrogen, man. I'll tell you what.
That's not a real thing.
Well, I mean, technically you could break water into hydrogen and then run an engine off of hydrogen. It's totally plausible. I mean, it does happen. It works.
All right.
Seagal could cut
But
it.
you're not going to go 325 miles an hour with just, what you're going to fit inside that car.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Quint, we cut now and we see Tommy Lee Jones again. He's at a gas station, a different gas station this time. This time he doesn't get robbed because we already know he's the protagonist. And he sees the rocket car guys pull up with the rocket car on a trailer and asks them for a lift, but they shoot him down.
Because his
they look at his car that's all
back window shot out. Exactly.
Is that important?
Just that's why he didn't get a ride.
Generally speaking, Tommy Lee Jones asks me for a ride. I look over and I see his Jeep Cherokee's all shut up. I'm thinking, this guy really needs a ride. I'm giving him the ride.
I would think so. Yeah, that's me too.
Wow.
It's like, this guy's in some trouble.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to be part of that trouble. Come on, let's go.
One of them does tell Quint all of the necessary plot information that he needs in order for the movie to continue. No, man, we're not giving you a ride, but I'll tell you what, you know where we are going immediately after this? And he pulls the map out and he's like, we're going to this place called the Betsy. Do you know where that is? Oh, yeah, man, you just go down here, you take a left and whatever. Oh, thanks, man. Hey, sorry again about not giving you a ride. Glad you were here to give me all this information. Goodbye.
Right.
And off he goes. Now, did you recognize that guy at all? Not the main scientist dude, which was Richard Jekyll. Then there was the guy from the Newhart show that didn't talk.
Larry, yeah.
Larry, he was deaf in this movie.
But didn't know that till way later.
Till it was really important.
Yep.
And then the third guy, did anybody recognize the third guy? Because it really bugged me. I had to look it up.
No.
Nope.
It's the dude that played Billy the Kid in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Holy crap.
That's him.
Wow. I just had to put that goofy hat on him.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Wow.
That's him. And he's the one that's talking about going to the Betsy. And now that Quint knows that's where they're going, he knows that Ringer is going to be right behind him.
Right.
So he stashes the cassette in there's like a cavity where the license plate flips up.
It was like a parachute, it was a pouch that would have closed down if you had a parachute for slowing down.
Right.
And he stuffed it in there, but then there was this He didn't know it at the time because it was down. They go and secure the vehicle before they take off, and the panel flops down and locks.
Yeah.
And now you can't get in there anymore.
No, so he's in his mind. He's like, I'll just go to the Betsy because this guy told me where
Yep.
they're going, and I'll just retrieve the cassette.
Perfect.
From there. So that when Ringer gets here, I'll be like, I don't even
I
have
got
it.
nothing, man.
And he doesn't have it. And so the plan almost works. They leave. Wreck-It car guys drive away. This random girl in the middle of the desert, looks like she's on her way to the club, pulls up, hair, all the Aquanet in the world sprayed into this thing. She just leans out because it's Tommy Lee Jones, so I don't blame her at all. She's like, "What's up, dude?" He's like, "You going to LA?" She's like, "I could be."
Wherever you're going, let's do it.
My boy doesn't even have to try.
No, he's Tommy Lee Jones.
That's what I'm saying.
But
dude.
is that what he was? He like the heartthrob of the time?
No, I think Tommy Lee Jones never was
Right.
what you would call
Okay.
conventionally handsome.
Right, because I can see like a lot of other actors that they have used as like, you know, the wind would blow and their eyebrows would go up or whatever.
He's more like a Tom Hardy of the 80s.
So I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be like a, well, obviously.
There's just like an what do you want to call it? What is that thing that Tommy Lee Jones has that overcomes his ugly face?
Charisma?
Are you saying Riz right now?
No, I mean could be. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I'm glad that you did. But that's not
Machismo?
what I would say. Some kind of. He's just got that like that alpha energy. You know what I'm saying?
He's got some of that sexual tyrannosaurus in him.
He does. Thank you. That's what it is.
That's what it
That's what it
is.
is.
Yeah.
It's Jesse.
That's
What Jesse
exactly-
Ventura was talking about in Predator.
Absolutely.
What's up, man? He unfortunately does not get to ride with the pretty lady because the bad guys do show up. Ringer is there coming up.
And shoot at him for no reason.
Thank you.
Hey, you're interrupting my perm. Where's the disc?
He should have came up there with the perm things in his hair still,
Dude.
right?
Yeah. I can't believe I'm watching a movie with frickin' guy that played the butler and damn Clue, Lee Ving. God, it looks like a mole rat from Minecraft. And a stupid haircut.
Oh, dude.
And in high heels at the end of the movie.
He was in high heels?
Yes, he was in high heels.
It was just so he wouldn't look short next to Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, Tommy was a lot to measure up to. Okay? Man, he had a receding hairline when he was 6 years old.
I hated this fucking movie.
Wait to the end.
All right. Ringer goes, they're like, yeah, you know, this guy's like, yeah, we used to be competition. He goes, oh, what are you talking about, man? I never considered you competition.
Oh, yeah. Classic Tommy Lee Jones, fast talking slang.
Yeah.
You can't understand. You got to rewind 3 times.
That is one of the only things that works in this movie.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
And it always
Just
works.
ping pong. I like
Ping
that.
pong,
Yeah.
back and forth, right? He's like, I never considered you competition. He's like, oh, we had our moments. Oh, you must have had yours in private.
Yep.
Like, that's quintessential Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
right
Quint.
there. Yes.
Essential.
Quint. Oh.
Oh, put it on the
Hit it.
board.
Hold on.
Rack
what is
me
it? Red
up.
1, 2.
Thank you.
I think I just turned into I did turn into 11.
Well,
We're turning it up to 11 right now. There we go.
Nice.
All right. So bit confusing what happens here. Did anybody else feel that way?
Oh, yeah.
He uses the cover. Now he's got these dudes here with guns like, show me where the cassette is. He uses the cover of an incoming semi pulling into the gas station to dive behind it and into his shot up Jeep Cherokee.
That
which he
runs.
which runs perfectly fine. And he drives it across the road and into an open field.
right. Over
Okay.
a tiny little berm hill,
Right.
which is like, I'm not going to stand on top of that berm and try and shoot at him. I'm just going to let him go.
But they don't. They then, in their sedans or whatever, their Cadillacs or whatever they're driving, chase after him and go off the road and down into the same open field.
Right.
Not that far behind him. Smash cut to, he's chilling at a restaurant and he lost the dudes and we never get to see what happened.
By the way,
No.
if he'd just kept the cassette, would have been fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah. There was no check for the cassette
Oh
or
my
anything.
gosh,
That's it.
Nicole.
Thank you.
Okay. That's the point of the entire You talk about how the movie would be over if he had shot
Right.
and aimed and all that stuff. Movie should have been stinking over.
That's
Nicole,
it.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
He ditched it, and then right after that,
They
he's at
never
this
even
bar.
checked him for it.
They never checked him for it. He ends up at this bar where the government guys show up and go, "Where's the cassette?" And he's like, "Well, I gotta go get it. Meet me at the Betsy in a couple hours, and we'll do the exchange." You're right. He just would have. That would have been it. Oh, here
Here
you
it
go.
is.
Here's the cassette.
Money's
Movie
please.
over. Play the credits.
But no, we got to complicate things.
But no, they drive off after him. They cut out what I'm assuming would be some kind of chase of some kind, and we smash cut to him just sitting there without any problem. And the government guys roll in. They shove him into a bathroom. When I say the government guys, it's some rando no one's ever heard of, and Bubba frickin' Smith Hightower from
True
the
dat.
Police Academy movies, who was great in this.
Yeah, I was like, I know this guy.
Yes, because he doesn't often, he's always like a good natured dude usually. And so he's being like angry, tough guy.
Yeah.
Totally works. Because the man is ginormous. And he walks in, he smashes him. He doesn't let this poor guy finish peeing.
Put it away and leave.
Yeah,
no problem,
if
man.
Bubba Smith tells you to put it away and leave, it puts itself away and you leave.
It's either putting itself away or you're having a Ben Stiller moment out the door.
I'm saying, we got a bleeder.
got a bleeder.
How'd you get one of the beans above the frank?
What's funny is my daughter just showed her boyfriend something about Mary like 2 nights ago. I walked downstairs. I'm like, what are you guys watching? And it was the opening credits of Something About Mary where the guy's singing the song. And I was like, yes, he had never seen it before.
Oh my God.
And so I stuck around just long enough for the Beans and Frank scene in the prom, which is like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And when freaking Keith David just sits down and he's like, all right, now let's see what we got here. You know, it's just awesome. What a great moment. It's just like pulling off a Band-Aid.
Yep.
The freaking cop.
What a great moment, he said.
Oh.
All right, sorry. Enough about a good movie. Let's talk about
Let's
this.
talk more about that, please.
They've got him in the bathroom alone now, the 2 government guys and Quint. And they're like, you need to have the cassette for court. We're mad. And Tommy Jones like, you didn't tell me. You're supposed to tell me Ringer was part of this. And, we hired you because they said you were better than him. Well, now my price is doubled because I got Ringer involved and blah, blah, blah. They're going back and forth. Basically saying, meet me at the Betsy and I'll have it for you then. Bring the money.
But that's where I'm saying is like, hey, they shopped this job to both of these guys.
Well, they
And
didn't
he said-
hire Ringer.
Right, I know, but they shopped the job to him.
Yeah.
They got this guy because they said you were better, so they obviously knew about the other guy.
I think they went and then got themselves paid by Lucky Star to or
Lucky Star.
Dollars.
This is even better. This keeps getting better.
whatever the thing was.
Sponsored by Lucky Star.
When you
That's
shine
right.
on me. Okay.
All right, let's go to the Betsy where Rocket Boys are meeting. They're showing their car off in the parking lot to anyone that they got this Italian automaker they're trying to make a deal with, but other people are coming up and checking it out, and they're like, it's made of Kevlar,
Kelvar.
whatever. What did I say?
No, you said it right.
Kevlar.
They said it wrong.
They said it wrong.
Yeah.
Kevlar.
It's made out of Kelvar, but you know it's Kevlar, so you fixed it in your head.
Did. Why would you make why make a car bulletproof?
Well, they didn't make it necessarily bulletproof, but they made it out of Kevlar composite, the same stuff they make bulletproof vests out of, so that we had that information for later.
God,
It did come in handy.
it did. While they're all showing them these cars, they go inside to have dinner with this Italian automaker, and Linda Hamilton herself rolls up with the worst mullet wig.
Oh,
Thank you.
it's so bad.
Thank you. You knew immediately?
Yeah.
Because Dana didn't believe me. I was like, that is a wig.
Oh, yeah.
She's got like 28
Immediately.
wigs. Well, you see them later.
Later.
Yeah.
But at this point, this is the first time we've seen her. So I'm thinking, there's no way she did her hair like this for this movie.
So I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be a bad wig because it was her wig.
Yeah.
And they talked about how she would have one, or if it was just, they ran out of money. So
It was,
It definitely wasn't a $3,000 wig from.
I want to call it a mullet, but it looked like it could be a carrying case for mullets. Like if that makes sense.
Yes.
Looked like a diamond hawk.
That's what just nesting.
Yeah.
Just like any minute it could get up and eggs would roll off of her
Just like
head.
an eagle flies out of there. That's it.
Dude's risen her up in the park. I was like, Jesus! When the thing flies out from her hair.
Yeah, let's talk about that ding dong. Hey, when I come back to
Oh, we're gonna get to him
Oh,
right now.
yeah, that's the best scene of the whole damn movie right there.
God.
She goes, "Oh, nice car. Can I see it?" And she shows him, the Billy the Kid from Bill and Ted is showing her the car for a second. Quint also walks up, and so Linda Hamilton and Quint bump into each other for like a second, but nothing happens.
but they bump into each other and there's no one else around in the entire parking lot. And they're like, oops, like you would have not bumped into the only other person walking through the.
Generally, when you're walking through an empty parking
Right.
lot and there's one other person,
You feel that.
it's really hard to bump into
You'll
them.
notice and you'll just move around. I guess the sparks were supposed to be flying.
Well, you let me know when they arrive because
Nope.
I didn't. I
Nope.
think they were late.
No, they
They were
not.
lost in transit. She goes back to her car, and I don't know you guys. I thought she was a cop at first. Did anybody besides me?
No, yeah, I thought she was a cop.
Because she pulls out. She goes into her car phone the size of a rhino horn.
With really long fingernails for her job. It didn't seem very smart.
No, and she's like, "I need permission to go." And they're like, "Oh, you're just supposed to be on a stakeout." She's like, "No, it's too ripe." And I'm thinking, cop,
Yeah.
right? Do you think regular people get, phones that weigh 40 pounds in their cars in 1986?
The only people with phones in their cars weighed 40 pounds in 1986.
Touche. But
Yeah.
Well done.
you need two hands to hold
Yes.
that. The most impressive thing is she had one hand on
Well,
that
the
phone.
battery, in a car, they use the battery from the car.
Got it.
If it was a case phone, she'd be carrying it around. It'd be on a strap, and her back would hurt. Right. Like she'd walk a little bit crooked.
She's just got it stuffed on the back of her pants like when she wears a wire, except it's just this huge box because
It
it's
looks like a
1986.
lawnmower battery.
You're right. You're just like, I think she's wearing a wire.
I don't think
that's
so.
ridiculous.
No.
The hair is to distract from the giant phone case.
That the hair was the covering the battery for the phone.
The battery is in the wing. We figured it out.
Bam.
Yep. It's a charger.
It's a charger.
100%.
She's got it plugged into her mullet.
Yep.
There's a cord going straight down. Oh my gosh. I wish that had been the case. That would have actually been good. All right. She goes to chill at the bar because the guys told her, all right, 20 minutes. And that's kind of what the dude sounded like. That's a good imitation. Don't say anything.
Nailed it.
And she goes in the bar and sits next to the Brizmaster 3000.
Dude, this guy is awesome. This guy is fantastic.
He had me flustered. Okay.
I was like, what a moron.
But what I immediately got from that when he started again is it works every day on someone, right?
It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
Bing, bing, bing.
It has to be. I used to be in sales long time ago, and it was always like, you just call enough, you dial the phone enough times, somebody will say yes. If you have to call 1,000 people to say yes, call 1,000 people. And so I feel like this dude just sits there and just does it until somebody says yes. But it has to work, right?
Yeah.
He goes up to Lyndall Hamilton. He's like, I think you like action. I bet when you walked in here, you thought, I wouldn't mind meeting someone new and interesting. Do you live around here? What would you say if I told you I wanted to take you home and screw your brains out?
It was totally a film where my kids were watching it with me, and then I was, great. Like
There wasn't much of that in this movie.
No,
That was like
there were 3 okays, and then that was it. Like the
Yeah.
whole movie could have not.
99% of it was fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And then there were just 3 little moments. This
Yep.
was one of them because he didn't say screw.
Nope.
And Linda Hamilton goes, I would say that you're in for a long and lonely night by yourself. Right? 0 for 1. And of course he blames her when she gets up and leaves. Quint is also at the bar watching all this happen. And she gets up and leaves. He goes, women.
So neurotic. They don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
Right?
We do. We know what we want.
And it's not you.
No.
But was there a line to talk to this guy? Because as soon as Linda Hamilton got out, he says, oh, they're so neurotic. Girl sits down. Hello. Like just like the
Yeah.
next one. Is
And
right.
immediately
It's a conveyor belt.
smiles.
Straight into the same line.
Idiot.
Literally per script.
She falls
Let's
right
go.
into the trap and she smiles. It's like
She smiles right at him.
the guy has.
I bet you'd want to meet somebody interesting tonight,
God.
right? And then I'm thinking that was just something he said to Linda Hamilton, but then they cut it off.
Because she's going to be an action star kind of movie person
Right.
later in life.
But they cut it off. Thank God they didn't let him say it again. But what would you say if I took you home and then they cut out to the next scene? I'm
Yeah.
like, he was going to say it again. He just met her.
Well, yeah. Didn't know her. Never been. Yeah.
She probably wasn't even drunk yet.
No, she just sat down.
Oh, she was smiling from ear to ear.
She was into it. I think they cut away because she said yes and they didn't want to show that happening.
They didn't even leave.
No.
They're still there now.
Saying, right now. They've been there for 30 years. Wow. 40 years. Oh my God, it's almost 40 years. All right. Meanwhile, she's not a cop. Turns out Linda Hamilton's character is a thief. And the van pulls up with the blue boys and they all got a hut, 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 hut.
Those outfits throughout the whole movie, like the cheapest baseball hats that match, and everyone who works at Rytron Industries,
Is that what it's
because
called?
it is, and Wytron because 80s, that means we're technologically
We're
advanced.
super Rytron.
Whatever. Just throughout the whole film, you just have to watch the guys in blue outfits. Like, why would you pay for uniforms that look like that?
Excuse me. I need 47 blue identical outfits for my team of car thieves so they're easily identifiable.
Tell them they don't have to be flattering.
I'll literally
We don't
take
have that kind
anything.
of money.
We'll literally take whatever you have. Okay?
Dick's Sporting Goods was closed.
Right. Is this playing against sports?
You got any little league? You got any really big little league teams that just went out of business here?
All blue, please.
Great. Same color.
All blue.
No nut huggers.
No nut huggers. Okay. And not black. We want these people to stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Blue.
Blue. Perfect.
You didn't even say goodbye.
They.
It's so rude.
I just hung up without saying it. Sorry, my TV remote was my phone, and I just hung up. There it is.
Yeah.
So while they're all out there, Linda Hamilton grabs the valet and pulls him at gunpoint. She's like, all right, I'll take, like she's ordering from McDonald's, 2 Mercedes, give me the Porsche and the Lincoln Continental. And she's going through the whole thing.
And fries.
And fries and a Coke, please. And the valet is like, okay, what's he going to do, right?
Yeah.
They put a padlock on the front door of the Betsy.
Yeah.
And they just start stealing all of the cars from the valet. And one person looks out the window and goes, they're stealing the cars.
Yeah, because Tommy Lee Jones was looking to see what's going on, and he bolts out of there, and somebody else goes and look out the window.
Yeah.
And
Because
just
he didn't say
hollers.
anything.
Yeah.
And then pandemonium.
Yeah.
Another window broken. Another man jumps out of the window.
Everyone's running all over the place. There's a girl standing on a table crying for some reason. We don't know why she's crying.
Really?
She's
I
like,
don't know why she's standing on the table.
nobody. People are punching each other in the back. You know, it's just absolute pandemonium. The only person that does anything, Tommy Lee Jones puts a chair through the window.
No, he jumps through the window.
Does he just? I thought he broke it first.
No, he jumped right through the window again.
He just full send, jumped through
Full send.
That's 2 windows
That's
in
what
10
I said.
minutes.
This guy likes to jump through
TLJ
windows.
is on the way. Let him out.
Let him through.
TLJ. That's awesome.
Oh, Linda Hamilton. Well, first of all, TLJ gets to the window. He jumps in so did he steal this Dodge Daytona or was it his car?
He rolled up in it.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yeah.
so he must have got it from somewhere.
Yeah.
From the government guys or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Must
He
have
had
gotten
it in
that
LA.
Just some lady he sees at a gas station.
Yeah, she probably gave it to him.
Right?
I got to take this moment.
Yeah.
This Dodge Daytona. I mean, I
Do we
owned
need
one.
background music for this?
No,
Okay.
it's not that.
I have
kind
some
of
for
moment.
you. Okay.
But like, legitimately, this Dodge Daytona looks like a standard, Dodge Daytona from back in the day. They're pretty cool looking,
Yeah.
for the time. It's like, I dug it. Buddy, guy I knew, Jeff Ray, a couple years older, he had one. He was the coolest in the world, man. I wanted to be that guy so bad.
Yeah.
He had that red Dodge Daytona. But this thing made full straight-on muscle car noises. These things were 4 cylinders, dude. Like, some of them were turbo 4 cylinders, sure, but this thing made straight-up muscle car noises.
It
Like,
made a
this
lot
thing
of
is
noise.
Nice.
I remember thinking the car was broken or something because it was just like.
Yeah, no, that's-
Maybe it's that guy from Police Academy standing behind it, making the noises.
I'm like, dude's got the noisiest car of all
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Even at an idol, it
And
was like,
I'm just
wow.
gonna, track people down all stealth mode like this.
Right. With this freaking loud Dodge Daytona. Well, Linda Hamilton, they all take all the cars. She specifically jumps into the rocket car
Yeah.
and drives that one. And let me tell you, she's a quick study for someone driving a car that no one else has ever driven in or made or anything.
Yeah.
ever
Just
before.
push all these buttons right here.
And
Boost pressure.
It's like, ooh, is this important?
pressure.
Green one.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going. That's kind of like
It had a camera in the back, which must have been insane.
backup camera.
Right.
In 1986 would have
Yeah.
been mind blowing.
Yeah.
For sure. She's like, dude, if I had a backup camera in 86, I would drive backwards everywhere. Look at this. You can see where you're going.
He literally like, I'm the backwards man, the backwards.
Backwards, man.
How come you don't do it now?
Everywhere I can. Because it's not a big deal anymore.
Everybody's
Right?
got one.
Everyone's got one. Half the time there's snow or schmutz on it. I can't see anything
Right.
anyway. I'm sure right now it looks terrible after the snowstorm we've just had. You didn't get to like February and March and it just, all you can see is salt when you look
Yeah.
on,
Salt and water.
salt and water when you look on your backup camera. I mean, you can clean it in 1 second, but who does that? Nobody.
Canadians.
Probably. TLJ, definitely.
He likes that up.
He does. She is being chased, and she's got a rocket car. He's in his Dodge Daytona. She's being chased. They have a little bit of a car chase here. Some very excellent car driving, acting in a, you know how they do this, guys. They're not moving anywhere. The interior shots.
Yeah.
The windows are either all light or all blacked out or whatever, and they're just ripping the wheel in different directions, and so you have to really drive hard. And Linda Hamilton was fully going for it.
Yeah, she went for it.
Like,
Yeah.
in-
It was long, too. And I think
Yeah.
they put all of the time they could have put, or half the time they could have taken out and given us any kind of chase scene when he left that gas station.
Right.
If they just put some of that money towards that.
Right?
Could have had
I
some.
thought this was going to be a car movie and there'd be all kinds of chases. And so I thought we'd get a lot more of this.
Yeah.
But it
Maybe
was-
the lens cap was on.
Maybe.
They forgot they didn't have film that day.
Oh,
She's
nuts.
being chased, okay, relatively well by Tommy Lee Jones, but she has time to stop in front of this big long tunnel.
Right. When you engage warp drive,
That's
you
what she
stop
does.
first.
Right.
Right.
Because she couldn't do that while she's just driving?
You can't. No, obviously
I
not.
thought it ran out of water. She's like, what's left? Turbo.
And she hits the Batman,
Nope, it's the
Batmobile
Batman. Yep.
boosters, like Adam West style back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And just freaking hits this tunnel going 325.
I wanted to see her cheeks going,
Flapping, right?
but they didn't.
Yeah.
Ew.
Sorry, I didn't mean to gross you out. Tommy Lee Jones is like, well, I mean, like that's kind of like on his face. He drives through the tunnel at however long. It's not 325 in a Dodge Daytona, but however fast you can in a Dodge Daytona, probably 78 miles an hour.
105.
105. He's burying the needle, right? Gets out to the edge of this tunnel, and there's a turn.
Immediately, intersection. Cross intersection.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So this woman went 325 coming out of this tunnel and made a left.
Right.
Is that or a right?
But yeah,
regardless,
still, hung a
they don't
90
show that.
degree
Of
turn,
course, we
right.
don't find out there's an intersection until Tommy gets there. But okay, cool. She pulled, her freaking eagle wig flew out the window when she pulled that right. That's why she's got regular hair. And
She turned on Eagle Spirit,
that's what it was. Fueled
by the freedom.
You're not catching me. She pulls into there's like a semi-trailer there, and she pulls into the semi-trailer, and these two semis leave for an underground garage. Now, Quint doesn't see her go into the semi-trailers.
Can I say here, they left the Betsy at the same time. I think that's what it's called. They left at the same time as everybody else who was stealing cars
It seemed like it, yeah.
in a car chase at high speed, 300-ish miles an hour at times,
Yeah.
and she gets to the trailers at last after everybody else driving these luxury cars has already gotten there and loaded up.
I thought she was trying to lose him, though. I'm imagining, like, if you just watched the dot line on the whole map, she'd be all around.
If you looked at an overhead view of the chase, it was around one block. They just kept going around in a circle while everybody else was loading up the truck.
We have only been able to close this one block and this one tunnel for this chase scene tonight. That's all we've got. Police force to close down. So.
Please. He surmises that she's in one of the trailers.
They probably had twice as much space as that, but somebody got DUI stopped in the middle of the
That's
filming.
probably exactly what happened. So they couldn't use half of the road.
And those are all the cars I was talking about that people probably were excited to have their car show up in the film.
Oh, yeah.
Like all those fancy ones at the place where they were losing their minds.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be a movie car company,
probably.
something like that. But there was definitely a whole lot of Chrysler put up some cars for this because there was most of the regular cars that were put into it were just Chrysler leftover cars and stuff. There were a couple of GMC Suburbans and stuff in there too.
I saw one of them, yeah.
For the most part, it was just Dodge Diplomats, Daytonas, K cars. I mean, they were just everywhere.
You're a machine.
I know. It's amazing, right?
Oh, cool.
He follows the semis into this underground garage, and he snoops around after the trucks kind of disappear, and he finds a fake wall with a security camera, and he just stares into it. He's like, "You sons of bitches, don't you know I am Tommy Lee Jones, and I know you're behind this fake wall, you jerks."
It was a hard to find fake wall with the tire tracks going
straight into it.
and
the oil on the ground.
the oil spot
Yeah.
where the truck stopped.
Where'd this frickin' truck go?
He's a detective as well.
He's also a detective. He's Batman. He's got a rocket car and he's a detective. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. All right, they go back to what the hell was it? Was it Betsy's? Barty's? Bartolone?
Betsy.
Betsy's, yeah.
Betsy's? Whatever.
We're gonna go with Bartolome.
They're back at Banky's place, and Bubba Smith shows up because they're supposed to exchange the cassette.
Late.
And they're pissed. Where's the cassette? And Tommy Lee Jones, again, super casual, like, someone stole it. Like if you could put LOL at the end of a spoken statement, that is how he delivered the line, right? It was just like, well,
Yeah, someone stole it.
somebody stole it.
Want some coffee? I want some coffee.
Yeah,
Where's my money?
it's fine. And this is when he goes, Bubba Smith goes, "Don't F with the government." All right?
Although he didn't say F.
He didn't. You have 72 hours to get it. I love this line. If you don't, I'm going to take all the heat that comes down on my head and transfer it to your body.
Whoa.
I believe him.
I don't even know how, but it'll happen. There's some science. It'll be
That's right.
fine.
And so Tommy Lee Jones goes to the three rocket nerds that lost their car and asks the boys if they want it back and shows them this fortress. Like
Yes.
he literally has him over to this. I guess he's got an apartment across the street from this fortress.
Look at these sweet towers right here, man.
Let me explain this fortress so you guys understand where this bad guy complex is. There are 2 towers with a sizable gap between them, and then at the bottom of the towers, there's some, a few stories of building that kind of goes all the way around, and then there's some underground roads. And so this whole complex, which he called a fortress, is owned by Rayland, Mr. Rayland, I think. I don't remember what his first name was, and
Mr.
His first name is Mr. He uses the cover of this, I'm assuming, seemingly legitimate corporation where they mass steal cars, bring them underground in this garage, and chop them up, and that's how they make all their money. And they got the thing locked down tighter than a drum, right? Am I missing anything?
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing, when you're stealing full value cars and chopping them up for pieces and selling them to other people or selling them to collectors overseas or whatever and stuff like that, you've definitely got enough overhead money to be able to afford the highest security you've ever seen.
Right.
Ever.
Ever. Incredible security. Yeah. Right. So he tells me, like, look, this is the fortress. You guys want your car back? I can get in there. I'm that kind of dude. And they kind of blow him off.
Because I'm a thief.
Right. And he's like, no, I'm going to the cops. Is what
Yeah.
these 3 guys do. And he's like, all right, good luck with the cops. Whatever.
These brilliant people have all their faith in the police.
Yeah.
Losers.
We finally get they are, dude. Did you, at any point, these are supposed to be like sympathetic characters that we want them to win. We want them to get their car back. Did you give a crap about any of those 3 guys?
Just the deaf one.
Yeah.
Just him, right?
Yeah. He was
But
nice.
the other 2,
I want to know how Daryl and Daryl was because they didn't get in the movie.
I have only seen like 3 episodes ever of New Hearts.
Oh, okay.
But apparently, from what I understand, he had his 2 brothers.
Hi, my name is Larry, and this is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl.
That's right. And they didn't talk, but he did.
Right.
And now he's the one that doesn't talk out of the trio.
Right.
Right. Which might have been done on purpose. I don't know. All right. We finally get a peek inside this giant chop shop as Lyndall Hamilton, who we now for the first time find out her name is Nina. And she's driving a golf cart, and she has her regular Linda Hamilton hairdo.
Right off the set of Terminator.
Literally looks like she walked off the set of the first Terminator movie. And as she's driving her golf cart around, and the blue boys are all doing stuff to different cars, and like, Ryland wants to see you. She's like, yeah. Ryland is played by Robert Vaughn. The first time we see him, he's upstairs on like this unfinished floor, and they've got some nice cars parked around an otherwise unfinished floor. And he's meeting with this Hispanic businessman. And he's telling him about his super building. Oh, this is great. We're going to have, this whole layout's going to be done over here. Then that other tower will be done. We're going to put the gas chamber in right over here for the parties or whatever, kind of like our guy down in Colombia. And Ryland tells the guy, hey, you owe us $420,000.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hispanic guy's like,
You're selling us damaged cars.
that's right. I can't make any money off your cars. And he's like, I don't want to hear about you can't make any money off our cars, BS. I'm going to collect the money one way or another, and basically threatens the guy. And then, go ahead.
No, then the guy just like, you going to threaten me?
Right.
It comes right back at him like, you can't threaten me. I'm not afraid of you. And then dies.
I don't speak Spanish, but I'm pretty sure he told him that he's not a nice person and that he has a tiny brain. I'm pretty sure is what he said, because he got right in his face and made a little gesture like this with his fingers.
Yeah, why
something
did
was
he-
very little on him.
Yeah.
Why did he do that? I honestly didn't understand why.
I couldn't understand what he was saying either.
Like wasn't a big deal. Super easy. Like
I don't think that's
No
what he's
effort.
talking about. You're a little,
Yeah.
I think he was saying about something else.
Yeah.
Was little.
Small penis.
it was weird. Oh no, I'm just kidding. I got you.
Yeah.
I thought that Mr. Ray, what is it?
Rayland.
Lind. I was thinking Raylan Givens from
I know.
Justified.
I love that show.
What if his name was Raylan? Okay. Anyway, was going to use some kind of trash compacting something.
Yes.
And I thought it was going to be high tech. So I was waiting for him to press the button and be evil.
No, but he does have like a Dr. Evil like control room.
Yeah.
Like straight out of the bridge on Star Trek when he goes in there, and it's got all of the beep boop signs buttons all over the place, right? And he lets this guy get onto the elevator. He's like, all right, fine. You said I had a tiny penis and in Spanish or whatever. Haha, fine, whatever. You can go.
He just vent out to the guard.
Maybe that's what's going to happen. He's going to vent him out of the elevator,
Right.
like suck him out the airlock. But that's not what happened either. As he gets on the freight elevator, Raylan gives the nod to Nick Cassavetes, who also happens to be in this movie.
Another car movie.
I know, the same year as
Yeah.
The Wraith.
Yeah.
We get the guy that played Packard
Yep.
Yeah.
in here as basically nameless goon number one. I mean, Luis is his name, but he barely says anything in the whole movie.
No, he doesn't say anything.
He's way better in this movie.
He's just there to like look pretty.
I didn't hate him nearly as much.
He was kind of a nothing burger for me because I was happy to see him, you know. And then I'm just like, what are you?
There's no mustard, no onion.
He may have killed this guy, just like he killed the guy in the other movie, but he didn't rape anybody.
No,
so I liked him a lot better.
Horrible in the rape. But as soon as he gives Nick Cassavetes the nod to go in the elevator, you know that Mr. Businessman is toast. And as soon as the door closes the elevator, Rylan like hurries over like a little excited kid to his super secret control room just so he can watch on camera where he garroting him? Is that how you say it? Whatever.
I'm not sure.
Garrote cord.
He just chokes him.
Cord chokes him out there
Murders.
in front of the camera, murders him
Yes.
there
Yeah.
in front of everybody. Yeah. Quint then we see goes to see Iron John. He's trying to prep a heist in 3 days, and Iron John is played by the legend Keenan Wynn. Do you guys recognize him at all? He was in Doctor Strangelove. He's been in tons and tons of stuff. Annie, Get Your Gun. He was in the Absent-Minded Professor.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking like old school, big time movies.
Amazing.
Fantastic dude. He was in every Western ever made. Like he was that guy who looked like an old prospector in almost every Western.
He looked like a
Okay.
prospector.
Even in this, he's this dude laid up on oxygen in some construction site, somebody that Quint knows, and he's there to get the blueprints of the building.
The real blueprints.
The real blueprints. Because he's able to look at the blueprints of the building and say, these aren't real. He's like, he's got, 10 times more concrete than he needed or more foundation than he needed. He's got 50% electrical more than he needs, all this stuff. He's like, so where are the real blueprints at, man?
Which it's totally possible they could have just done it and didn't make additional blueprints. They just
Also possible.
added it. And then they're looking forever and the movie ends.
And then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
We've thought of 9 different ends to this movie instead of the one that we got.
They all involve us being done already.
But Iron John sends him to go see Emile French because he's the guy that set up the alarms. And so cool. Back at the chop shop, boss is pissed that Nina took the rocket car. She was like, I took this one for me.
We don't take trophies.
That's right. We don't take trophies.
These attract attention.
We don't need this kind of heat. And so they lock it up behind a fence.
Yes.
It's in
But
time.
it's a
Easily
cooling
climbable fence.
And it's super easily climbable fence.
Yes.
They're like, well,
I
I
could
guess
send an
that.
army of 10-year-olds from the Sandlot to get this car back.
And they walks away.
Those
He's
kids
like,
could do it if anything.
could.
but Yeah.
well, I guess that takes care of that.
Armed with dodgeballs and paintball guns.
So, guess we don't need to worry about this car ever again. It's behind a fence.
It's behind him. A fence from Menards, guys. Easily just walk up, tie a little twine to it, tie it to the back of your Chevy
Yes.
Blazer, and just rip it on down.
all while listening to the jingle. Save big money at Menards.
I think in 1986, the only Menards was in Wisconsin.
Menards, Wisconsin,
There's
or
like
whatever.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Later, she's trying to leave in her own car.
You know,
And-
I
go ahead.
just realized this.
No, tell me, please.
This movie is made up of the bullshit side missions of Grand Theft Auto and Assassin's Creed.
Yes, yes, it is. It's a whole
Quick,
movie of side
tail them. Why? Don't get too close.
It's a bunch of escort missions,
Oh, I hated those things. Like, why? Why?
fetch quests.
Fetch quests. They always end up the same.
I don't have the blueprints, but you got to go see Emile French. Emile Hirsch is an actor. It's actually really good. Emile French about the alarms and
Yeah.
going from place to place.
That's what turned me off to Starfield. I'm like,
You
I'm
know
done
an
with
actor
these.
named French who's really good
Yeah.
too, don't you?
Who's that? French Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He actually in this he might have made it better.
And there's Bruce French. He's a really good character actor.
Oh, really?
Bruce French. That guy sounds awesome.
All right, so she's trying to leave. She's in her own car now. She's in a convertible. She pulls up to this garage. I love this part. Okay, and you know what? I am going to soak in the few bright spots at the door. Okay, she pulls up to the fake on the other side of the fake door, and she wants to leave. And there's a little camera, and you got to say a code or whatever to be able to. She's like, she says the code, and you just hear some defeated security guard in the line. Rylan wants to talk to you.
No man shall pass.
Right? And he gets on the horn. He scoots across his whole Star Trek desk, and he looks down at you see her on the console, right,
Yeah.
on the camera. And I thought her acting here was pretty good. She goes, where are you going? Jesus Christ. Out! Right? Like under her breath and
Right.
yells, I want to see you. Later. Now. No. floors it in reverse.
And I go, is that his daughter?
We don't know what their
Right,
relationship
exactly.
is at this point, right?
Yeah.
I'm praying it's something like that and not something super creepy, right? But she
Gross.
reverses.
It's creepy.
It's gross.
Spoiler alert.
It's
Not
gross.
her daughter. Gets the convertible is about as far back away from the door as you can. I don't know, a few hundred feet.
Yeah.
And she floors this thing going back at the garage door, basically playing chicken with Raylan, saying, "You've got to open this door or I'm going to die."
Yeah.
Right? And she's playing on what she thinks is his affection for her, that he'll do it. But, bro, it got close.
I thought maybe he just liked the car.
She didn't want to wreck the car.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with her.
Maybe.
She's got this pedal to the ground and she is cooking at this garage door. And I want to say she got within a couple of feet of this thing. And man, that is the fastest garage door.
Yes.
She got a few French fries short of a large.
That thing, I've never seen a garage door open that fast in my life.
Right.
Dave,
well, I
Dave,
mean, you
Dave.
figure
Sorry,
floored,
go ahead.
this car's going 100 miles an hour up this ramp.
Yeah.
They're coming, they're going, and everything. They're probably going 7. So they sped up the film.
I was just gonna say
from
they sped up
7
the
to
film.
100. So that's how fast the garage door went. It was actually a normal speed of garage door.
The garage is actually just going, and the car is going.
Yeah. And it's like,
Dun, 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 dun.
And Linda Hamilton's just got to look like this the entire time they're shooting. And in her head, she's just going. Da, 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 da.
and they get the.
Yeah, she's whistling the Superman song.
That's what she's doing.
Sure.
I'm going so fast. Look at me go.
Whee!
I'm in this movie, Linda Hamilton.
Where's my wig?
Sorry, go ahead. You were going to say
They
something.
did a great job of lining up the in the car shots to the out of the car shots too, because before they open the garage door, she's already busted this thing in like 90 degrees right stick.
Yes.
And then goes through the door and immediately up the loading ramp to the right, and it's still 100.
It's still 100.
Amazing.
I
Best handling car ever.
I puckered a little bit. I will say, I mean, it was well shot.
Yeah.
I mean, probably you're right, sped up, but I thought I was like,
And I didn't know that it wasn't a steal. I mean, it could have been just she could have just busted through.
Right.
That's what I expected to happen. I thought she was going to bust through a regular garage door.
got it. Well, that didn't happen, thankfully.
Yeah.
I'm going to go this. The movie wastes a bunch of time then after here. Quint somehow knows she's driving out of there, follows her to her apartment. She leaves the next morning in another car to go to the club. He goes into the club, smiles at her at the bar. She leaves and gets in her car on the curb. And as she pulls away, Quint steps in front of it. What a bunch of wasted freaking time.
Yeah.
This movie was full of shoe leather, as
Yes.
legitimately, we're going to watch this guy step out of his car, and we're going to watch him walk all the way across the street and then all the way up the sidewalk and then open the door. And then we're going to see him come from the inside of the door, closing the door, walk all the way across the club, smile at her, sit down, her stand up and leave and walk all the way out. Him look at the girl next to her. She smiles. He stands up. He leaves. He walks out, grabs the door handle, steps in front of her car. Why?
Right.
And
Do
it's
we need all of
inefficient also because you have to light all of those shots.
You have to light all of them. And we don't understand why he's staking her out or doing that and that stuff. If we could just assume that's what he'd been doing. If you had shown her, he didn't, Rylan didn't want to let her leave. Where are you going? Where are you going? Turns out she was just going home. Like, she's not allowed to go home. Fine. She goes to her apartment, then she goes to the club. All you have to do is show her leaving the place and then going straight to the bar.
Yeah.
She wants to blow off some steam. Then you don't see Tommy Lee Jones at all. Then she goes out of the bar, gets in her car, and he just steps in front of it.
That's it.
First time you
we
see
get
him.
to the same place.
Right. And we
5
know,
minutes sooner.
he's been following her.
Yeah.
But there
Right?
was some pretty sweet 80s music, and I forget, it was like the lyrics were something like losing control or something. So maybe they wanted to like get that in your head, like maybe
Losing control.
I don't know, something like
I don't want to be a bad person anymore.
yeah. Or also it was right after. Maybe that was when they were. Well, I won't spoil
I don't know.
anything.
We'll get to that shortly, actually. All right. So they play this
He
game.
said shortly.
They play this game. He walks over around the driver's side and she goes, "Where are you headed?"
Your vagina. What's happening, man? That's what's happening. Everyone's thinking it. I'm saying it.
That's my fault. I set that up too well. I'm sorry. Why is she giving him a ride? They do this. They play this game where do they know who each other are?
I think she should know by now that he's been following her.
Yes.
So then she should do the opposite of that.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, so they kept playing even till the next morning. They still played like they didn't know who each other were until you find out that they do. But anyway, she offers him a lift, and he's like, he's real chill about his intentions because he's not in the car 4 seconds where he's like, my friend's car got stolen. And she's like, oh, that's too bad.
I was expecting him to say something like,
I'm so sad.
you know how to cook?
For Runaway, yes.
You have any ramen noodles?
Yeah. He goes, boy, sure would be nice if I could figure out a way to get it back. I'm like, real subtle TLJ. Okay.
I'm calling him TLJ for the rest of my life. Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
And she goes, yeah. He's like, there's got to be some way. And she's like, might be a couple ways. Right? And
I wasn't really sure what she meant by that.
I don't know either. No one knows anything in
But
this.
it's the first time she's actually saying that she's helping.
Yes. We cut back to bad guy headquarters, and Daddy Ryland is now coping with his disobedient employee, we'll call her, and he's been creepy watching videos of her as a teenager.
Right. When they met.
This made me laugh.
So freaking
hard.
disgusting.
It made me laugh because it's teenage Linda Hamilton, but all they did is put a red baseball cap on her.
She was like otherwise so clean. Her hair was probably combed so nicely. She had makeup on because, when you're living on the streets, your first thing is looking like the all-American girl.
Yes. And look, Linda gave it her best shot.
Yeah.
Right? They basically put a red ball cap on her, like try to make her look like a teenager, and then just like, well, just act like you're a teenager. And I thought she did. I mean, it's ridiculous because she looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
But she's trying to act like she's 14 in this like interview.
Did they say 14?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
No,
She's
okay.
a teenager. I mean, look at how she was dressed.
Right.
Right. And she was acting like a kid.
Yeah.
In the footage, and I don't remember anything she said, but she was just like, well, golly gee shucks, mister, and blah blah blah, and just teenage Linda Hamilton. She's 30 years old, or however old she was in 1986. But
basically, he caught her stealing.
Yes,
his
was trying to
car.
steal his car,
and this is him talking to her after he catches her stealing a car.
so he's just watching that footage back.
Yeah.
Right. So he's maybe a little bit obsessed with her.
Maybe.
Not bad, but just
Maybe a little.
Maybe that's what he was talking about. It was like, hey, these little you're a little obsessed with her,
yeah.
I feel like I should just note that people who are homeless sometimes do still look very clean and work on their makeup and want to look very nice. And they often do. But the way he described her was something like she was like living,
We don't want to offend all our homeless listeners.
Well, you never know. People have all different situations.
I'm
but
just kidding around with you.
I feel like maybe in this way, she did not appear to be someone who wasn't straight
Dumpster
from,
juice?
I don't know.
What'd you say?
Dumpster juice?
I don't.
She wasn't covered in dumpster juice.
Dumpster juice.
oh.
She was, Sorry.
Sure, I was confused. Anywho.
Dumpster juice forever.
That's right.
I'm bringing it back.
Anyway, we're bringing it. It's okay. We're bringing it back. All right. We cut back to, I mean, it's so fast. I almost had whiplash. We cut straight back from him creepily watching the video to at the apartment.
I just went, well, that escalated quickly.
This really got out of hand.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Nothing that Miller Lite can't solve.
And
Linda
Billy
Hamilton.
Ray Cyrus. I mean, Linda Hamilton.
And Kenny G was in the closet.
Sure.
Playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before, guys. But in the 80s, when it was time for something sexy to happen, you didn't hear the French horn. That was when something emotional was happening.
That's right.
And I remember you saying that in Jurassic Park. The saxophone was for when it was sexy time.
Exactly.
In the 80s. And so we got Linda Hamilton rolling around in the sheets with Tommy Lee Jones. And their big move was, I touch your face. I touch your face.
Sure.
And we touch each other's faces while the saxophone is playing.
I was hoping that they were going to boop the nose, too.
This is pulled straight from the movie. This is the music from the scene. And this is how long the scene was. But
at least we got knockers out of the deal.
we got some strategically placed forearms and That's all.
I
Now-
fast forwarded so fast because my kid was right next to me, and I was like, I had no time. Oh, it was fine.
That's
It's
fine.
You didn't miss anything.
Nothing.
Oh my gosh, one of you owes the other one a Coke.
Nothing. Bob was like Leo DiCaprio. Oh, you know you were.
Why, looking at her breasts?
All right, let's move on. Cuts back to after that. Time to go to sleep. Sorry, I lost my spot. All right. They wake up in the next morning, and now they're interrogating each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and he says that this is his last thing, right? He's going to retire. It's kind of a trope. A lot of movies have.
Yes, one
last job.
For this.
That's
That's
it.
right.
I'm out after this one.
That's right. I got one more job. And she goes, how many names you got? And he's like, how many wigs you got? I'm like, all right, we're having a verbal sparring session here.
Yeah, she was just going through his wallet. You know, he was watching
Yeah.
her go through his wallet.
I'm going to ask everybody that. How many wigs you got?
Tommy Lee Jones, you think he's just a regular dude? He's going to come down and have breakfast? No, he's going to come down and sit shirtless on top of your motorcycle and look cool
Yeah.
while we have a conversation.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that in my life. Just sit shirtless and look cool anywhere.
You know?
Single digits, guaranteed. Under 5.
Under 5, less than 5 times.
No, 5 years old.
And she,
All less than 5 years.
That'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
and less than 5 times.
Yeah.
She says to him, what do you want from me? Please don't lie. He goes, I want that car back, and then I'm retiring. She says, what do retired thieves do? They get away. Some decent writing. I'm going to at least give them credit when they have some. But she says, what makes you think I'll help you? He says, I don't know, her face or something. And
Honest face.
honest, yes,
think so.
you have an honest face. That's right. Thank you.
They're both thieves.
I knew it was something about her face.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, she goes, I won't let you use me. And then they
Yeah, you will.
then they go in for round number 2.
Yes. All right.
Turn it off.
12 hours ago, he found out he's got 72 hours to get this all done.
Right, he's and a day and a half in at this point.
Yeah, now
Right.
we're way deep in this thing.
Well, he's deep in something.
Roberto.
Oh, good for you. Sorry.
Sorry. All right, go ahead. Yeah, he's deep
But
in
yeah, he's way deep into this
into
timeline
the
already.
timeline, yes.
This should have
then-
been on every sex ed video in 1987.
All right, children, 4th graders, please. I was at 5th grade when we had that. Sorry, 5th graders, come over here. Circle around this TV. We're going to roll the card into the room. All right, now we're going to show you something. There's 2 clips I want to show you. One is from the gym teacher. The other one is Linda Hamilton and Tommy Lee Jones. This is all you need to know.
Yep, that's it.
The dropout rate was real high.
It's really high.
Do not try this with your cousins.
No. What the heck am I doing? Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, they go in for round 2. In the midst of a very short timeline.
Yeah.
Time to have lots of
We have more time for this.
And they do it in a rather dangerous place, I thought, right between an open fire and a hot tea kettle, you know, right there on the bed. And he doesn't have his shirt on. It was a little bit precarious for my for my taste personally.
Were you as scared as when she was going to drive through that
Yes.
garage door?
I was scared.
Yeah. Scared.
I was like, bro, can't roll in either direction. All right. The 3 rocket bozos are now snooping around the parking garage in the funniest scene in this entire movie. The cops.
Tragic funny.
Yes.
Sweet, sweet deaf man.
The cops said, we need concrete evidence. So now they're going to go, take pictures in this garage. And they've got these guys on the camera immediately. The bad guys are watching them snoop around the parking
And
garage.
so they could have said, let's go get our guns and just shoot them.
No, can't do that. That's going to be way too easy. Instead, go ahead.
I think one of those guys can't hear.
Head nerd says to the deaf guy, Tyke, go back to the car and get the telephoto lens. And he does it. This is not sign language, guys. Okay,
Right.
It's not. And
It's
I heard,
charades.
and I shouldn't say I heard. I read that the whatever, I don't know the names of the organizations.
ASL.
ASL, sure, probably what it was.
The deaf community.
The
maybe.
deaf community, thank you for stating it in a way better than I would
There
have,
you go.
was not super thrilled with the portrayal in this movie. And because what passed for sign language was like, you go here to car, get lens like
Yeah.
this. And that's, kind of how they talked to him.
Maybe he just was deaf, like
Just newly deaf.
recently.
Didn't have time to learn it.
No.
So that's what it was.
Yeah.
He sends him back there. Now, the bad guys send out a dump truck with a scoop on the front and another car barreling towards Tyke as he's coming back with the lens. He can't hear it. This plan only works if the person is deaf.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So super lucky on their part.
I think they're looking on the cameras like, I don't think that guy can hear.
Operation Deaf Removal.
How would
Go
they
with
know?
the deaf guy plan. Plan 6, guys. Plan 6.
Getting that big blue truck ready and moving probably was an ordeal. So, like,
Sure.
getting it out and backing it up and,
Maybe this happens all the time.
But anybody else constantly being assaulted by
Break out the handicap scooper.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
They have, I don't know what kind of car it was, but the big dump truck with the scoopers coming from, coming towards him. So he should have at least been able to see it.
Maybe he's blind,
He's not blind and deaf.
but he didn't see the giant.
But they were using
Big
hand signals to communicate.
That's right. They
he
were.
was so excited his friend was waving at him.
Trying to wave to him, be like, dude,
never
there is
wave
a
at me."
car. There's a car. He's like, they never wave. They finally like me.
me. They like me.
They're being social, and he starts to wave. He's got the telephoto lens, and then behind him, you just see this car flying.
Flap.
Best and worst day of his life,
Just
all in one.
nails this dude, and he flies 25 feet in the air.
Straight up.
Straight up.
The ceiling is 26 feet.
The
Right?
wiring system for this stunt launched this dude straight up into the light bulb.
But luckily he didn't go sideways. He went straight ahead because
Am I evil for laughing at this?
no.
Because I know it's meant to be tragic, but then why'd you shoot it from the wide comedy angle?
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
No, there's truth to that for sure.
Because it just ends up looking hilarious. And he falls and flies in a way totally unnatural to what actually happened.
Yeah, and most people roll over the hoods
Something
out the back end or
straight up
straight up.
like a rocket.
Yep.
Even the guy driving the car was like, well, would you look at that?
I expected it to break the windshield. That's true.
These bumpers are awesome.
Seriously. Dude hits the ground. Scooper car, then beautifully synchronized, don't you agree? Comes through and just immediately scoops the guy up off the ground and drives away with him to take him to
Wherever.
the island of misfit toys
Sure.
or wherever,
Yep, that's right.
the people go. We never find out.
All right.
Well, if it's a chop shop, maybe it's a chop shop for like kidneys and stuff.
That was so gross.
My problem.
Not only did the guy, it's just the sound of it. It's terrible.
And I'm laughing and I'm like, this shows how bad of a job this movie has done because I am not supposed to be laughing.
Right.
you're not.
I feel I'm a pretty empathetic person. I get emotional watching movies. I get emotional sometimes watching commercials. Okay, my wife was like, my wife never cries in movies. I do it all the time, right? And so if I'm laughing, something was done incorrectly by the filmmakers.
I have huge problem number 47 immediately following this.
Oh, please.
Number 47?
Yeah, there's a lot of huge problems in this movie. I'm sure you can agree. But like legitimately, this is a tight family. These three dudes is a tight family, right? And they've got all their money. Everything is tied up in this car and all this stuff. 33% of them just died. Their next step is to go back to Tommy Lee Jones and figure out how to get their car back.
And then they're just like, okay, so let's just look at this blueprint. So what we got to do now is go under the flux capacitor portion and then...
Where's your brother? Whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I need your help. My brother just got freaking swept away on a pooper scooper.
Larry's gone, all right? Larry's gone.
All right. We need to get this hot pocket out of there.
Bless his heart, ain't nothing we can do. We got to get this.
I hate that term. God, I hate that term.
What's that?
They used to be said to, yes, they used to be said to me a lot when I was younger. And if I saw those same people again, I would put my foot up their ass.
Because now you know what it means?
You know what bless
Yeah,
his heart
now I know what it means.
Yeah, it doesn't mean bless your heart.
No, it means you're a moron.
That's how people in the South say, you
idiot.
you idiot, while keeping the Southern hospitality thing going, right?
I think 1 in 8 is like real one. The other
Maybe
7
occasionally,
maybe.
yes. All right, so the two remaining rocket scientists, go back to Quint's place and take him up on the offer. They're like, well, I guess we'll just go help.
Yeah.
And see if we can do it with this guy.
He would want us to.
We don't have sign language classes to go to tomorrow. We got some spare time.
They weren't going.
They go with him to go meet this French alarm guy. Go ahead.
No.
It's better that we move on, James.
All right, it's fine.
It's a silent time in the SEAL community.
It's true. They
So sorry.
no, you're good. They It's the movie's fault that this is funny. Okay? I blame them. I absolve myself of all
You
responsibility.
send me hate mail.
It's the only time anyone was happy in the whole film.
Right. That's true.
So full of joy.
All right, they go to meet the alarm guy, and everyone's, again, super cash. They've got like 4 hours till they have to pull this heist off. Alarm guy's going to train the 2 rocket car guys how to disarm an alarm. Okay. Quint goes back to meet Iron John to get the real blueprints this time, but he's already been shot up.
In the weirdest spots.
Yeah.
You could just
In the
unplug
belly button.
stuff. Just unplug some
Just
stuff.
unplug him.
Right.
He's
Just
dead.
Save-
Maybe they were trying to press him for information. That's why they
dude,
showed
take his
him.
mask off.
Honestly, wait
Right, but-
45 minutes.
Here.
Yeah.
Take his mask off.
Take his last off. Shove 4 or 5 Pall Malls in there and light him. He's done. You wasted 2 bullets.
Yeah, all you need is a half a pack of Cools.
That's it. Maybe some
it,
Newports.
What's
Newport?
cheaper though? Is the bullet or the?
Pall Malls.
Bullets are getting expensive. It's true. Ringer has been watching him since Nina's apartment, we find out.
In
And
between
now
perms.
Ringer, who his perm is finally completed. That's why he took so long to catch up. He had to go finish his hairdo. Now shows up with 2 other goons. And they beat the piss out of
This
Tommy
is
Lee.
Yes,
actually
they
one of
did.
It's actually a pretty decent scene.
Dude,
And I kept going. I'm like, we're just gonna keep.
it was
going.
like They Live level of just him just
Yeah.
continue, except it wasn't a fight. He just kept getting nailed.
a lot
He
of
gets freaking kicked in the sack like 7 times, dude. Like straight up like a field goal, you know? I was like, holy cow.
When he was still inside the trailer, a
Yeah.
box of Dunkin' Donuts fell on his head, and I was like, that product placement was probably free, but that was
Probably Duncan. There's a Duncan rep in the movies going, son of a yes,
Freebie.
that's awesome.
that's great.
We're gonna make so much money from these donut sales now.
Come and get your Black Moon Rising extra black coffee.
You know what? I'll tell you, it's weird now that you say this. 1985. Nobody knows what Dunkin' Donuts is. 1987. They're
Time to make the donuts.
okay. Black Moon Rising is why we have Dunkin' Donuts. I'm just gonna say it right now.
Oh wow.
amazing.
He did no research on this whatsoever, by the way.
Moving on. They're beating the piss out of Tommy Jones. Did you see when they freaking tag team double choke slam him over
Yes.
the railing of the stairs onto
awesome.
the hood
Yes.
of the car? WWE style?
Yes.
That was impressive. They got him
was.
all the way up over the railing and onto the hood.
Well, he's like a buck 45.
Yeah, and he
Not a big dude.
no, but he did his own stunts.
Yeah.
He was doing all the stuff.
It was very well shot.
And so you could shoot it without having to hide who it was, which made it
Yeah.
look better.
And
Yes.
when he was driving out, he was legitimately hurt so much that he couldn't drive, which I
Right.
was like, thank you, that's real, as opposed to like,
Yes.
well, now it's time to go like have a drink of wine.
I know how you really love to make sure people look very injured and hurt in
well, if
movies.
you're gonna do that
Okay.
much kicking, you gotta actually have it be real, or
And
just
so
don't kick him. That's
when he
fine
was
too.
driving home concussed and driving on the sidewalk, you're like, finally, I'm glad he looks like he's really hurt.
It lines up is all I want. It lines up.
I think you just have a secret bloodlust that
No.
we're discovering as we
No.
go through these movies.
Negative.
We'll see.
Yet.
It went on for a while. Eventually, Tommy Lee Jones, who's now getting kicked in the nuts on the ground in front of his car, his upper half of his torso, he crawls underneath the
His
car,
car, yeah.
like right in the middle, like where the passenger, the
getting
driver's
kicked.
door is, while they're just nut kicking him and stomping on his stomach and all this stuff. And they're trying to pull him out by his legs, but he's holding on to the underside of the car. And the whole time, I mean, I'm sure all of you were like, there's a gun under there.
Yeah.
I
Right?
just thought he was grabbing a car part to be like, wham, wham.
Oh, okay.
Wham.
What did you think?
There had to be at least a bazooka under
Or
there.
something,
I
right?
was thinking for sure there's something
He's gonna
because
grab the
legitimately,
muffler.
I'm going back
Right.
to
Or he's
eons
dead.
ago as a kid. I watched, oh my God, Road Warrior.
Yes.
Mad Max, Road Warrior. And he's underneath the car and he arms the bomb for it. There's always something
Something
hidden
in there.
somewhere, right? You're a
Put
car
something
guy.
into my car, like snacks at least, just something.
No, a
You
spare
never
key.
know.
He's going to come out with a spare key for his apartment, you know,
If you took
in a magnet
I found
case.
it.
Oh my God, I've been looking for this.
a laser pointer and he's blinding them with it.
No, they're like cats and they just chase it.
Oh, he just laser
just run
points
off.
Ringer and all the cats in the area just absorb Ringer.
onto his face.
Yeah, just start crying.
That would have been a great thing to do. He puts the laser pointer on his head, Cats everywhere just rise up out of the
The
Oh, yeah,
cat
you
from
see all the eye
Constantine
cat-
comes over.
from over
All the cat eyes open up in the darkness.
in the darkness. Oh no. No. But,
again.
so if you got nothing else from the scene, Nicole, you now have the idea to stash something under your car
Yep.
for unknown circumstances. Okay. Snacks. Anything. That's fine.
He comes out with a thing of
Snacks
fig
could have got him
Newtons.
out of it.
Sure.
Hey, guys, seriously, I got Newtons.
I used
got
to
Teddy
mow,
Grahams.
Power.
mow on Fig Newtons when I was a kid. Teddy Grahams.
Goldfish
Fig
and
Newtons.
Cheerios, guys.
James used to open up the other side of a ho-ho box and put it back like it looked like it was unopened.
Yeah, buddy. That's the move right there.
Like, I don't want to break into that.
No.
They're going to know I
Pissed
took
mom
one.
off so much. She thought it was a full pocket until she grabbed
She grabbed it. It's just, I'm so strong.
There's dust in there.
it. Nothing.
A family of roaches live inside of it now. Yeah.
Ew.
No, we didn't have that kind of house. We were
You had a house with no ho-hos
We
in
were
it, but-
poor but clean. Eventually, as I'm saying, they pull him like, "Come on, get out of there!" As they pull him out from under the car, sure enough, he's got a little like Ziploc lunch baggie and a pistol, and he's able to shoot 2 of the 3 of them. And Ringer runs off.
It's not just a pistol. It's like a 44 Magnum.
Yes, it's a big gun.
It can shoot through a plastic bag, by the way.
It can.
Amazing.
True story. That is accurate.
And Ringer was able to get away from point blank range. So I mean, kudos to Ringer.
Well, he was hurt really bad.
Yeah. But the other 2 guys are gone, and he
They were
just
closer,
runs off into the darkness, and we don't see where he goes.
I didn't count. Like, I didn't go back and recount, but I'm pretty sure he overfired that gun. Not 100%, but it's a movie.
A lot.
What does that mean?
Like,
It should hold 6. I think.
Oh.
I think
And he shot 9.
7.
Yeah, he did just keep
8.
shooting and
Right.
shooting and shooting.
Bang,
I mean,
bang, bang.
he did shoot the last one as though like that's the last one.
Maybe he
Right.
reached back and got
Did
a
I
second
shoot
gun.
6 shots or only 5?
We don't know.
But I didn't count. I could be wrong.
Makes
Here's your chance to complain about something I said.
much to Nicole's delight, he drives back to Nina's concussed. Probably doesn't remember any. Do you ever drive somewhere and you don't remember
Yes.
like 20 minutes of your drive?
Yes.
That's scary.
Yeah.
Every day.
Autopilot.
Scary. It hasn't happened to me recently, but it has happened to me a few times in my life where I'm like, I'll get to an intersection, I'll go, I don't remember being in this
Dude.
town.
When I was a kid, younger anyway, I was an adult, but I was working at Abbott Laboratories. Kyle had his apartment, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would. We were doing 12-hour days overtime at Abbott Laboratories, and I'd be coming home, and we'd go to Kyle's house, and there was days where I would leave from there to go back to work, and like legitimately, it's like I don't know how I got from 173 to Delaney Road.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Wadsworth Road intersection is there, stoplights, everything's like there's no accident, there's traffic around me, I must be with everybody. But there were some days it's like you're all by yourself all of a sudden on the road. It's like, did I run through the light? How did I
Yeah.
get here? And there's no cars in front of or behind me. This is
That's
impossible.
exactly what I'm talking
You just
about.
caused a
Yes.
40 car pile up and everyone's.
You wonder though, how did
yeah.
it happen, right? Yeah. So that's probably what happened. He probably doesn't even remember getting there, but he does get up to the front door and he's like, I just wanted to see if you were in the neighborhood or whatever, and stumbles in. She gets him into the bath, and he takes he takes a bath, and I'm assuming round 3 happens because he wakes up naked in bed with a little
One of the aspirins was blue.
flirty note on the pillow next to him.
There was a point when she was dabbing his chin and he yelled.
Yes.
And then the next time she dabbed it and he just kept talking. I was like,
Right.
it's a pretend cut, isn't it? It's a lie.
She sees right through you, Tommy Lee Jones.
TLJ.
TLJ.
So I feel like this is the 4th night he slept somewhere and he's only got a 72-hour window. I don't know if it's adding up to me. But that's just me. Okay. She leaves a playful note, says, don't steal the motorcycle, and then leaves. And she goes back to bad guy headquarters, and Daddy Rayland is like, where you been? She's like, I don't know, definitely not sleeping with the enemy, I'll tell you that. That's not what I was doing. Okay? Just for your information. I was doing anything but that,
Had to host a Tupperware party.
right?
I don't make enough money here.
Sorry. Pay me more money, okay? He's like, oh, that's interesting because we just got this back from one of our surveillance sites. This is literally what he says, one of our surveillance sites. And he puts it on, and where is that? Oh, yeah, that's the ceiling right above your bed,
Yeah.
which is also in the middle of her living room, but it's an apartment, so whatever.
It's a studio, yeah.
It's a studio.
Studio loft.
Even though he comes downstairs from the bedroom after
Right.
the first night, but then they sleep. I don't know. Don't ask
Nope.
me questions about the layout of her apartment, but it doesn't make any sense. Regardless, I'm burying the lead here. They videotaped her sleeping with Tommy Lee Jones. She plays. It's even got the saxophone music while he's playing the video for her. Okay,
And they keep talking, and the videos just go. I'm like, can
just
you
go.
it's-
You just shut it off.
All right.
And he's like, let's watch it together. That's literally what he says. And she's like, you son of a... And he tries to hit him, and she's, I thought, appropriately enraged. And she's, you betrayed me. He's like, I only wish I had, because she really hadn't even betrayed him yet at this point.
Right.
Right? But this definitely sealed the deal that was about to happen. But they end up just locking her in like a janitor's closet. That's, that's
Probably
it.
with no snacks.
No snacks at all.
Come on.
Teddy Gramless. Okay?
No donuts to fall off the shelf. Nothing.
Quint, who is still all beat up, stumbles in with the blueprints and interrupts like a disarming and alarm training montage that the other guy's having with the rocket guys. Okay.
Rocket Man.
And he lays out the blueprints. He's like, all right, here's the heist plan, which is going to happen in, 20 minutes from now. And
It's not a lot of time.
he's totally blown all the time that they've
Right.
had to plan this. There's been no heist planning
Like parent
at
minutes.
all.
No.
None.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, I'll tell you what the freaking plan is. He's got 5 Miller Lights in him, and he just rolls in there, and he's like, all right,
Synchronize your watches.
see this tower? He sets a timer for 45 seconds, which ultimately means nothing. And he goes, all right, here's what's going to happen. This tower is unfinished. I'm going to climb up that tower. We're going to shoot some lasers at some cameras so they can't see us. You guys go underground, cut the alarms. I'm going to go across the gap from the ceiling to ceiling, roof to roof, and then I'm going to go down that tower, and I'm going to get the freaking car.
Ultimately, the heist plan, the heist execution,
Yeah.
take the goofy shots here and there, in and out. It's good. I
fine.
enjoy it. I like the, we'll use the lasers to blind the cameras.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to do a quick loop and then play it back for the surveillance cameras so they'll never know we're here. I dig it.
That was cool. The thing that made me laugh is they had 72 hours. They planned this in 10 minutes.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And you
Is
look
it
at blueprints, which have
No, yeah, go ahead.
they don't have like a lot of detail. They're like, well, as soon as you get to this one place that is not marked at all, he just pointed to a random spot. This is where the camera.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Right?
You're just the guy who makes the car with the water.
All this climbing and zip lining to get a damn car that's underground.
It's underground. He's going to
Right.
go all the way up, down, and around as
So you're closer when you start off this heist. You're actually closer to the car.
that's right.
And they end up blowing up the wall anyway, right?
So why don't just walk to the floor and blow up the wall?
and then go in
Then
Damn it,
go
that's
with
a great
force,
idea.
grab
Why
the
did
car,
do that?
pull fence. It's literally fence, straight line up ramp.
Right. That's true.
So find the hole, blow the hole, go down the ramp.
There it is. All you got to do with a few blue boys
Well,
and
Blue
Nick
boys are great.
Cassavetes, and that's it. Right?
But it was pretty exciting when he was on that zip line.
Yeah,
What
it
was going to happen?
Well, that's what we're getting to.
And he
right
got
now.
all hurt.
They
He almost fell off.
They shoot these lasers. So they got all this like laser beam machine. Where the hell did they get that from? By the way,
They made it.
JCPenney.
they
Radio Shack.
They are car scientists.
shoot it at these cameras. Okay, and interrupts like the feed for a set amount of time. Then the laser comes off and it goes back to normal, just covering them enough time to move across the field
Right.
of view. The freaking security guards sitting there watching the tapes killed me. They were hilarious. First of all, the thing starts going all fuzzy. He's like, what the frick is going on? Goes back. Oh, all right, can we get maintenance up here? Maintenance shows up, and it's Al White. I don't know if you guys recognize him from anything, but dude was the dad from Back to the Future.
Oh, yes.
That, like when Marty went back to his house, that's not his house anymore.
Yes.
When
Right.
Dad breaks in with the baseball
Yeah.
bat. Was the
I'm
maintenance
thinking
guy?
I'm in the wrong house. Dad, right you in the wrong house.
right.
Yeah, that's him. Yep.
He's also one of the jive guys from Airplane,
Oh, yes.
right? The jive talking dudes
Yes.
from Airplane. Same guy.
My
Was the
mama didn't
maintenance
raise
dude.
no jive turkey.
That's right. I dug her rap. I'm not even raised no dummy. Yeah, that guy. He's the maintenance dude that shows up to fix it, and they're all
Quickly.
just like very quickly.
Yeah.
and then
Like they're there, and then like in the next scene, they're leaving their office to go there. That's how fast they got there.
right, and then they get there and they watch more lasers hit cameras, and it's like, oh man, what's and it's like a team of idiots working around the clock to fix this problem, and they're all just staring at the screens.
Well, and they're like, you still have the two guys still standing there, sitting at the console, like
Yeah.
looking at the screens. These guys are like laying down under the console, trying to look at it while they're still sitting there looking at it. And it's like,
Okay,
you guys could help by like, moving
do something.
out of the way.
Tommy Lee Jones climbs the unfinished tower. Anyway, Tommy Lee Jones gets to the roof of the unfinished tower and he shoots a line. He's got like the gun that like Kevin Costner had in Waterworld that he shot the zip line gun down.
yeah.
You know?
Harpoon gun?
Which are easy to get.
Super. He had one
Fast.
in his trunk.
Yeah.
Gets across, so he's gonna, shimmy across this line, and of course he's like
hurt.
still in pain from the ass kicking and guys.
Which I appreciated.
You love this. You're like, yes, feel the pain.
No, just
Tommy.
if you're getting.
That's right, Tommy Lee
kicked.
Jones. TLJ,
like-
you're hurt.
He's like, my pancreas, as he's scooting across this line, and does get to the other side, collapses in a heap because he's still selling the fight, and he starts heading down the next tower. He finds Nina in the closet via an air duct. He's in a Tommy Lee Jones sized air duct.
Had no idea.
No.
Just, this is lucky.
Oh yeah.
This is extremely lucky that the air
more.
duct just happens to go straight across above
Yeah.
the closet where we hide the people.
There's more ridiculous luck coming up in the next.
Oh yeah. There's lots of it. It's the Lucky Dollar Corporation at work right here.
There it is.
He finds her. She's like, get me out of here. And he pulls her up and they drop then down into a bathroom so that they can do nothing other
Where
than
the saxophone music comes back.
share a special moment together in a bathroom. And my wife, who's watching with me, goes, we don't have time for this crap right now. Will you guys get on with whatever it is you're supposed to be
She's
doing?
great.
Right? Like you're supposed to be robbing this place and they're like taking a moment to be like, oh, I'll touch your face. Are you okay? All of that nonsense. Boop.
We met so recently. But
No time for face touching. We have to laser another
Dr.
camera.
Jones, no time for love.
They head down. They laser another camera to get down the hallway, and they get on an elevator. And I don't know if you guys know a lot about elevators.
Loving them.
Loving an elevator, loving it up when I'm going down. They go down to the floor where
He has trigger words. We have to learn how to exploit them. We can manipulate him.
a security guard is waiting for the elevator. So as soon as it opens up, bing, there's a guard staring Linda Hamilton in the face.
Right.
And she's like, hi. And the thing about elevators, it's impossible to hide inside of one. You can immediately see the entire elevator from standing outside of one.
It'd be
but
kinda
Tommy Lee
funny.
Jones is just standing up against the wall.
right up in the
of it.
corner.
Like, you can't see me in the corner. And the guard walks right in. What are you doing in here? And then he goes, wah, karate chop to the neck.
It'd be funny to just be like face against the part with all the buttons and just,
just head into the corner.
I'm metal.
Like Blair Witch Project, at the end when it's just standing there facing the wall. Be hilarious. And they knock that dude out, and then they go over and shoot rhino tranquilizers.
And they just tranquilize the other guy. Yep, good night.
What's that for? Inoculations.
It's going really well. The rocket dweebs in the basement cut the alarm.
Rocket tweets.
Okay. Cutting off alarms all on their own.
So now they're cutting into this
pretty.
cable. They slice through the cable, right?
Yeah.
And then they peel it open, and then they hook up their probes to it, and then in the very next scene, they're slicing the cable open again. I feel like
Yeah.
in editing, there's a lot of stuff that happened before things that happened. Like they got a reel of tape mixed up occasionally.
Yes.
It's like, all right, we did 6 reels of tape today, but 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, and 6 is how they edited. It's like something happened.
Yes, for sure. It wasn't really put together well. Tommy Lee Jones and them go down downstairs now into the garage, and they get to the rocket car. I mean, literally without being stopped.
Yeah.
They get to the rocket car. They're able to get inside of the fence. I can't believe they figured out how to get past the fence.
Somebody filled it back up with water too.
Oh, they did. They
Because the car was dead, and that's why they had to go to boosters.
That's right. They put somebody with like a gardener, like a water can. went over there.
They had a little bit left in their Avion. I was like, I just can't finish this.
Or if you sweat enough inside, maybe that's all you need.
That's all. Nick Cassavetes just rang out his T-shirt into it. That's why it's running. It's running on the sweat power of Nick Cassavetes.
Oh, God.
Which is why it goes extra fast in the finale here. They get in the rocket car just as alarms are starting to go off. The rocket scientists wire the fake garage door to blow from the outside, and they are timing it off a clock that they have. So
Synchronized watches.
Tommy Lee Jones has to drive around for a little bit for the timing to work out because he's got to line up the shot. It's the same garage door she was playing chicken with earlier. And so he's got to just drive around for a while, which is fine. Drive around forever. They can't shoot you. You're in a Kevlar car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good thing we had that information.
I would hate to drive this thing. They're practically like laying down while they're driving it. Like, you ever like see those? You ever get into somebody's car and the thing is like laid back?
Yeah.
And you're just like, how on earth do you drive like this?
I mean, this car was super low bodied.
Right.
So, I mean, you'd have your best possible shot at looking out of a car like this, but the windshield and everything is on such a bad angle that I don't care what it is. With the way they're lighting this and everything, you got lights like you guys can't see them, right? But we got lights like this in here shining off the light. The glare would be ridiculous inside that thing.
Wouldn't be able to see anything.
Yeah. So the fact that they got that thing around without banging it up, kudos. Even at 12 miles an hour.
Here's what I read is that the driver couldn't see anything.
Okay.
And that he was literally driving blind most of the time while they were shooting these race sequences and stuff like that. So I don't know how they didn't crash this thing a number of times.
Probably walkie-talkie.
Maybe. Turn right now!
Yeah.
Well, no,
turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right.
They probably just had the guy walking next to the car the whole time.
That's right.
in a green suit, so you couldn't see him.
Hey, you got a left up here. No. My left, your other left.
If you head down this way, you'll hit I-94. We'll get the hell out of this movie.
Let's get out of here.
Kudos. Do you remember those granola bars from like the 90s?
Yeah, let's do
kudos
that.
are awesome.
Yeah, those go to the driver.
Granola bars to the driver. Got it.
Oh my gosh.
Snacks. It all comes back.
All right. They blow the door. So if they time it up, they're flooring it at the garage door now. Tommy Lee Jones and Linda Hamilton are in the rocket car. And the nerds outside blow the door. And as soon as they blow the door, like a freaking portcullis like comes down inside where the thing used to be.
Castle.
It's like iron bars from a castle. Right. That's what I'm saying.
I love it.
And Linda Hamilton's yelling at him, your plan was to blow the door? He's like, those weren't in the blueprints.
Which is a funny line that could have been even better in a different movie.
Well, there was so much of those goofy, funny lines that are delivered by Tommy Lee Jones that just kind of, they don't really get the laugh.
No. And the blue boys are trying to shoot him, but again, this whole thing's made out of Kevlar. Are the tires made out of Kevlar? Because they never got shot up.
Right.
Even though all these bullets are getting emptied.
We've played Fortnite, and you know, as soon as you're driving a car and somebody's shooting at you, the first thing to do is shoot out the tires so you can't drive away well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ryland orders them. Was somebody going to say? Oh, I thought I heard somebody's song. Sorry. Ryland orders them to be herded into the freight elevator, which they are, and then there is it. Take them to the unfinished room. And so Tommy Lee Jones pops out of the, there's like an opening in the ceiling of this car. He goes, how do we stop this thing? And she goes, you can't. Like Linda's pissed that they're
really mad.
Right?
She's like, don't go that way. Like she knows to not go that way.
Right.
That's the way they go.
And Tommy Lee Jones sits back down in the car and his freaking hairdo is still sticking out the top of this thing, dude. And I'm just like, yo, when they're doing the driving sequences, whoever has to almost be laying down flat to not have their hair sticking out the top of this thing. It's ridiculous. They get out, they get to the floor, they pull out, and it's the same floor where they killed the Hispanic guy. There's like a few cars, but it's mostly unfinished. He pulls out, he does a lap, right? And then ends up stopping and facing the rocket car towards Ryland, who's there in the middle of the room, and some of the blue boys are like hut, moving over to the sides, and Nick Cassavetes is there. They all got their guns drawn at the car. And this is where he's like, got to give his bad guy monologue.
Oh yeah, he's monologuing.
You're super duper. I'm the bad guy, and so now it's time for me to just, give my speech before we inevitably get to the end of this movie.
Hold on, give me enough time so I can get a gun.
That's right. It's over. All right. Whoever you are in the car, I've been impressed. All right. You will be remembered, I think he says to him. And Nina, we'll just consider this an unfortunate misunderstanding. Go ahead and get out of the car and we'll call it square, right?
Oh, yeah.
No problem.
Square. Sure.
I'll still be a jerk to you, but,
She pops her head out and shoots Nick Cassavetes right in his brain, like immediately.
Yeah.
And
the thief and apparently excellent at gun handling.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is the Linda Hamilton that I know and love. Because he floors it as soon as she shoots that guy. They give each other a little look like we know what's about to happen here. She shoots Nick Cassavetes. He floors it. She's still out the top of this car just popping dudes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, that's Lyndall Hamilton.
Thelma and Louise ending? Thelma and Louise ending.
Louise ending. We're doing it. They drive around waiting for the rocket boosters to warm up because Tommy Lee Jones says to her, or she goes, I wish there was another way we could do this. He goes, there's only one way to do this. And they're kind of an understanding of what's going to happen. So they're trying to warm
What
up
if they
the
didn't
rocket
agree on what
boosters.
that was?
Oh, I thought you meant something else.
We're gonna. If you. Okay.
I thought we were giving up. I'm sorry.
I thought we were cueing saxophone again.
Right.
That's what I thought we were doing. You know, there's only one way to end this, right?
Nope.
You know, they can't get into this car.
There's no
because
space in that car.
It's bulletproof. And so it's going to take
a giant hole in the top.
at least 4 hours to get into this vehicle. What do you say? You and I. She's like, no, I was talking about the rocket booster. Oh, I was also talking about the rocket booster. That's what.
It was a metaphor. It was a metaphor.
I totally agree with you. We're going to shoot the rocket boosters.
Load the spaceships with the rocket fuel.
That's literally what they're doing. They hit the boosters, man. And they hit Ryland with this car so hard that the dude went into fast forward. Okay. It was the most sped up footage out of all the sped up footage in this movie. He goes, and just rolls really fast off of the car.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 miles an hour, he rolls over. They keep going. They hit this freaking window and turn into a Hot Wheels car.
Yep.
I see a black moon rising.
Jump all the way across this freaking gap, which was not small. These buildings were they're next to each other, but they're not right next to each other. It's a sizable gap. And they fly all the way across it, crash into another floor in the unfinished tower across.
Luckily, into the window and not
Yes.
the actual concrete or the floor.
That's right.
I feel like they took off from the 38th floor and landed on the 38th floor. They did not go up or down.
They lost no ground
yeah.
at all. In fact, if anything, I think they landed on the 39th floor in the other tower.
Which the other guys knew was going to happen because
That's where they were stationed.
they were there.
Everybody knew. All right, first of all, this is going on 325 miles an hour. And he's able to stop the car before it blows out the other side of the freaking building when he lands. Does some good ass brakes on Black Moon.
Yep.
Okay.
And their brain should be scrambled by the time they hit
right.
the brake.
He jumps out, grabs the cassette out of the cavity that it's been in this entire freaking movie.
Oh, wouldn't it be awesome if it got shot?
Or just fell out.
Because that wasn't the Kevlar
It wasn't
part.
secured.
Yes.
It wasn't clipped on anything.
It was just in there. And he's like, oh, I got it. Just in time for Ringer to put a gun on him with a couple more goons because his other couple goons got shot up.
Yep.
And I'm like, Ringer is here? Man, did he get lucky on picking which floor Quint was going to crash his car
Which
into?
floor and which tower?
Which tower? Like he's sitting there at the bottom with his two new goons that he just hired because the other two were dead. And he's like, I'll tell you what. He's eyeballing it. I bet you anything. I'll bet you $10 he's going to end up jumping out of there.
And the car flies right over.
And he's going to go, it's like, oh, sure. Yep, there it is. All right, let's go. All right.
And that interview process was quick because they got onboarded real
I wanted to
quick.
see the elevator scene between Ringer and his guys.
How? They're just going up.
Girl from Ipanema comes walking.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
5 hours later on this podcast.
How on earth would they be there to know that's where the car was going to end up?
Bananas.
Tommy Lee Jones had to be anal probed or something. He had GPS or something.
Whoa.
How did he get in this movie?
Lucky Dollar Corporation.
Somebody had pictures. All right. They get him. They pull him out of the car. They start beating him up again. Linda Hamilton jumps into the fight. She jumps on Ringer. They're fighting over the gun. He starts punching the other two guys. And I wish they'd had a stunt coordinator on this movie or something. Because this fighting was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Super exaggerated. He came in with the foot, and Tommy Jones goes, I know it's visual, but he just like whips his arms up in the air and just like the most exaggerated movements to flip the guy's leg up.
Oh, yeah.
He would block a punch like with his whole body. It's, you know,
And the
it's just
guy
like,
he's fighting
Yes.
while sitting on him goes ahead in his pocket or somewhere and gets his knife to like scoop out his eyeball. Like you do
Right.
that when you're just man to man rolling around.
Right, exactly.
He does not.
It was awesome. Linda Hamilton gets punched in her face, and it comes down to Quint and Ringer, the last two left. The government guys show up. So they also knew that he was going to end up on
Same
the 39th floor.
And they do have vested interest in him succeeding because they need something from him, and they don't help.
No, in fact, Linda Hamilton runs over and goes, "Give me your gun. I need a gun." And he's like, "Just give him some space."
Yeah.
Middle finger.
Right.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Just say it. It's cooler if you just say it.
Quint beats up Ringer, but I thought for sure he was sending Ringer out the window. They're having this whole fight in front of this
why
Big
didn't
broken
he?
window.
right?
Why didn't he?
Didn't it seem like that was the obvious thing?
It
that was gonna
should have
happen?
been.
Like,
And
oh, he's,
kick him all the way back across to the other building
Like,
because gravity doesn't exist in the courtyard.
that's what I'm saying, dude.
tie him to the back of the car and just launch that car out the window.
Right. Or hang him from the zip line that's still
Yeah.
up there.
Or just trigger the parachute.
Right.
Do the freaking dummy from Captain America 1990.
The freaking window is right there the whole time. Ringer pulls out a straight razor and is like, "I'm going to shave you."
Oh, I bet he wanted to shave him. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life.
While they're fighting, and he gets him, and Tommy Lee Jones has the razor. He took it away from him. I mean, Ringer's on the ground, and he puts it at his throat, and you're like, he's going to cut his throat. No, he just lays it there, and he says, "You're never a winner, Marvin. Hell, you're not even runner-up." That's his big send-off line.
Which
And gives the guy the knife back and leaves him.
it wasn't right. But I thought what he was saying was somehow related to slitting your throat. Like winners get their throats cut. And
Yeah.
that's not okay. He was just going back to it was a callback, is what it was.
It was a callback that doesn't land
Right.
at all. So,
Yeah.
no, you're 100% on that one. He gives the cassette to the government guys, gets his envelope full of money, and then they're just going to walk away and leave the car that's now smoking on the 39th floor. The whole job was to get the car back for these guys.
Well, not for him.
Not for him.
His whole job was to get the tape back.
Right,
out of
which
the
he does. And they're all just kind of glad, hey, with the government guys. And they're just acting like, oh, yeah, we got away with it. I'm like, you're still in Ryland's building.
Right.
You're still on his property.
And they're bad guys.
And
You're
they're
not-
bad guys.
You're not done escaping just quite yet.
Please continue escaping because they're all acting like it's over at this point.
It is.
But they're still on, go out into the street and high five each other. You're
Yeah.
in his building still.
That's even better. That's like peeing on the mountaintop.
The rocket car guys get up and they're like, oh my gosh, my car. And I'm like,
Like standing on your enemy and just taking a whiz.
you're being super casual.
Yeah.
They're just like, it's our building now.
It's our building.
They should have just frozen it and high fived with that outro music from sitcoms.
It's like every time a general dies in a war, you're like, we're done.
Could you get more away? That's what
They're
I
on
wanted to
another
see.
Get
building.
away here.
But it's still his building.
But they're in another building.
It's like, hey, we won, and you're still
You want-
in the dude's living room. Like, could you leave, get off the property?
Absolutely not. It's over.
You just sit down
It's
and
just
watch
my
the game.
living room now.
All the blue boys are on their way up in the
They
elevator
couldn't
right now.
figure
But the
out
cops are there.
what floor they're on.
The government guys were there.
Yeah.
Everyone knew what floor they were on.
They're not messing with Bubba Smith.
I was waiting.
They're going to get on that floor. All 40 are going to stash in this elevator.
High
The second it
tower
goes
is
ding,
ghoul.
Bubba Smith's right there. Going to be like, never mind, abort. All right, Raylan's dead.
Go back
Raylan's
down,
dead.
go
Forget
back
it.
down.
The guy pays anyway.
Everybody was there. I was expecting the Riz Master from the bar to show up on the 39th floor. Like, I heard there was a party
Walks
here.
up to Buzz and he goes, hey,
Yeah, I heard you.
I
like,
hear
How
you
would
were
you-
looking to meet somebody interesting.
how would you...
You want some action.
That's right. I heard there was some action going on the 39th floor. Everyone in the movie, the whole cast, they roll in freaking Iron John in there on his gurney. And he's like, I'm still alive. Everyone from the movie's here. That's what I expected to happen.
He died a few months later.
He did. I should make fun of him. I mean, the actor did.
86, late 86, he died.
All right. The Rocket guy's like, what are we going to tell the Italians? He's like, forget them. Call Boeing
Fun.
because the car flies.
Blue. It was funny.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Could have been better, but
It could have been. That's a euphemism for the movie. All right, back at Nina's place. And
some-
did she
Fair
take the camera out?
we would hope that she
Right.
did, but they're just in bed in the living room again.
I don't know.
They've just got a sock over the camera.
Is OnlyFans a thing now?
I don't think so.
The disappointed guy in the blue shirt, still the corner's
Still
like,
just-
man.
They just hung a police hat on it.
That's exactly what it was. Time for round 4. And she goes, and he can't even get himself, literally physically turned over. And she's like, you sure you're up for this? He goes, they hurt me. They didn't kill me.
Well, if that wasn't a hot thing to say, I don't know what is. I just don't.
She goes, I think it's best if you just lie still.
Yeah.
And she's kind of laughing throughout this take. It almost seemed like she was breaking and they kept it in. Like it seemed very natural laughter.
Yeah.
But apparently she hated working with Tommy Lee Jones.
Right.
Hated it. Had a miserable time working with him because apparently at the time he was really in the thralls of alcoholism and probably wasn't being a super nice guy on set and to work with. And so she couldn't stand working with Tommy Lee Jones. But
You couldn't tell from the chemistry.
No.
It was so real,
alcohol.
palpable.
It was so
Really?
real and palpable.
Man, a lot of people are having alcohol problems.
Yeah, I guess in the 80s, I don't know. Seems like he got on the other side of it. I don't know when, but yeah. At the time, he was having a hard time.
And by the way, I don't think her place was a safe place to go if there were additional bad guys who still were frustrated. Maybe when you cut off the head, then the whole thing dies. But
is Ryland even dead? Do we know? All we saw was him roll over.
Dude, they knocked him from silver hair to white hair.
Okay, but all we saw was roll around and fast forward, and then we
the
never go back
dumbest
to
he
it.
does have a lot of money for
Dumbest death. Why just leave the dummy on the hood of the car? Get creative.
Have him fall
Yes.
off midway through the.
Yes, have him fall off or catch the
the
zip
window.
line. He gets decapitated or
That zip
split
line-
in half or something.
The zip line was a tease. Nothing happened with it.
It was a
Yeah, it was
tease.
about to fall the
Or
whole
he
time.
takes the brunt of the re-entry into the other building.
Yes.
Right?
Or yeah, he just floats off and hits the pillar as opposed to the
And
window.
then as they land in the other building, they saw, and he's still on the hood, but he's covered in glass and blood. And he just goes, just kind of rolls off the freaking
Yeah.
hood.
Or like
are we
lands
doing
and
here?
throws him into ringer and they both make love out the window.
That's literally the two of them become one as they fly out the window.
Dude, get
Need
creative.
some love like I never needed love. Okay, so Spice Girls. Two become one.
All right, sorry. I'm going to stop hitting the
Great
saxophone,
song.
I promise.
Keep hitting. That's pretty funny.
But I love it. It's my new favorite.
I feel like moonlighting is starting every time we do that.
Well, that is Black Moon Rising, you
BMR.
guys. That's the end of BMR. And hopefully not the end
Nope.
of BMR.
this just killed your podcast, James.
It's possible.
There's some
Just
fans.
killed your podcast.
I think there's some people that'll listen to this episode. There's got to be at least tens of people that have watched Black Moon Rising.
And even if not, it's fun to
Before?
listen
I
because we
think
explain
so.
what happens top to tail.
Yeah, don't watch
I agree.
this.
That's true.
Soup to nuts.
I think
Whoa.
Did
Well,
you
we'll
say
get to
soup
the-
to nuts?
It's a
Yeah.
thing people used to say whenever, it's like that means the whole thing. Like you start your
The
meal
whole
with
enchilada.
soup, and then you have the dessert, and you have like coffee and peanuts and almonds.
from
or
A to
whatever.
Z.
Ah, okay.
It's a
I
thing.
never knew that.
It's an old timey phrase.
I don't think that's what it means.
I think
You'd say she goes from soup to nuts.
So what is soup?
So what is the soup?
I don't want to know.
Clint?
Hey, James, keep going.
yeah. So
I really want to know what the soup is, Clint.
I think
Would it be from nuts to soup?
I'm saying I don't know what it means. I just don't think that's what it is. Doesn't seem right to
Yeah,
me.
Clint.
Fair enough.
What you got?
I think if Arnold Schwarzenegger was the soup and the nuts, this movie could have been really, really good. Mm-hmm. That's what I think.
He should have been the car.
Got to figure out how is Arnold the voice of the car, like Knight Rider?
Yeah.
No, he is the car and does the voice of the car.
It's a fleshmobile.
It's a flesh
wow.
pumping iron mobile.
So they're sitting inside Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You're sitting inside my pectorals. These are very
That's
nice
right.
and comfy and to leather, but it's actually me.
If you want to turn left, you have to squeeze my left breast. And if you want to turn right, then you have to squeeze still the left breast, but do it twice.
Do it twice like a Hong Kong.
What?
And if-
And don't touch the stick shift. I'm just kidding.
Touch it all you want.
You're the one that said to make the car. All right. What if I...
He's the car. He's
Fix
the
the movie. We'll fix the movie right now. Okay? Because there's problems and it needs to be fixed. Here's how we fix it. You just make him frickin' Tommy Lee Jones. I love Tommy. You get him out of the movie. You put Arnold in. And now you've got Arnold, like Sarah Connor, and him hooking up with Sarah Connor 2 years after hunting her down.
Wow.
Come on, guys.
he would split her in half.
Seriously, you'd get freaking Arnold rolling in the middle of, do you know what I'm saying? Listen to me.
They only had 72 hours is the problem.
I touch your face.
Can I borrow your wigs?
That's right. How many wigs do you have? This one is fantastic.
It's your best week ever.
It's the best. It's all right.
Do you have any body oil?
Oh, this is really cool.
This is really cool. How do you do it? Like this? No, I know. Like this.
That's
We don't even have to be here. You guys just go ahead. Go ahead. I'm going to see myself out.
It's so much fun to watch James die.
To the music
That's the best part. He's over
of
here
moonlighting.
literally dying to saxophone.
oh my god.
I'm playing this at your funeral. This clip. This was the first time James died.
Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, so Donnie Miles, who's playing along with us, says, I'm intentionally not answering this question about Arnold because it hurts me to think that Arnold would ever entertain being in this turd. This turd of a movie.
Oh, wow.
Bill Gerson, also playing along, says, have him be Bubba Smith's guy, as his character is a real hard ass and not someone you want to mess with. So putting Arnold in his place would be a perfect fit. Plus, hearing him say, put it away, get out, would be hilarious.
20 points.
Right?
That's true.
For sure. Where would you put Arnold, Clint?
Where would I put Arnold? I mean, I think you're right with Tommy Lee Jones, but like you could put him anywhere. Have him be the kid that busts through the gas station at the beginning. Just some little comic relief at the beginning, you know?
Oh my gosh. That'd be awesome. I don't remember what what does that kid say even?
It was like it was just a generic stick-up line.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It was nothing. Oh my gosh.
Just
Give me all your money, man.
But still do it like a nervous 12-year-old.
right.
Give me all your money. I can't do it as an nurse.
Give me all your money, get out of here.
Get out of here now. Get out of here. I'm coming to rob you. That sounds like a
Oh my gosh, he's
Evil-
got like the whole German outfit on. The what's it?
Here I am in my lederhosen.
Laserhosen, that's what it is.
Right.
I was gonna say
In
dirndl.
my
but that was
schnitzel.
my Carl letters like
Just
my
holding
schnitzel.
a plate of schnitzel.
Tommy touched my schnitzel.
Puts the lemon on it, the gravy or something.
It's fantastic.
You okay?
He's
I'm
Larry.
good. I'm
Great.
good. I'm still calming down. Vince Hines said, make him Marvin. Do I think Tommy knocks Arnold out? No, but seeing two hired thieves fight for a tape would have been one of the better action scenes in this whole movie. Could have got a better fight out of the two of them, right? He lands in the car, except when the car comes through the 39th floor, Arnold is waiting there and catches it,
Yes.
right? And he goes, hello, cutie pie.
Cutie.
Be awesome, dude. I think those are good. I think if we just get him in there, I just think the idea of him teaming up with Linda Hamilton is a missed opportunity because I know they technically teamed up in T2, but she was playing such a different type of character in Terminator 2, where she was like, clearly off the deep end, militaristic, kind of, crazy. Wasn't really a situation where there could have been any kind of love story between her and a robot, in that movie. But, this
movie-
one,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm saying this one would have happened.
This movie would have survived without Tommy. Just keep Linda Hamilton in the movie.
That's it.
That's it.
And so who's chasing after her, or just have her do it herself?
Just do it herself.
Fair enough. I'm down with that.
I like Linda Hamilton.
You feel good about it? You feel good about where do you want Arnold in the movie?
The guy in the bar hitting on people.
Oh my God.
You want action.
That's right. No, you walked in here and you said, look, I'd like to meet somebody interesting. Okay. And so and something like a lot of action, which I love. It's my favorite. So listen to me. What if I get out of here with you and we take you back to my house?
And I friend your brains out.
And I snow you my schnitzel.
That's right. And we will make schnitzel together. Okay, except there's no stove. I don't have one. There you go.
Malamonis, toaster strudels, and waffles. It's
Right.
fantastic.
Just strudels.
Toast the
Super German.
Put the strudel down now. All right, let's move on. We're going to start with some awards, you guys. And the first one that we always start with is the most prestigious award we give out to the actor that had the most intense performance in the movie. It's the Will Patton Award for intensity.
You want a war? I'll give you a war! boss.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
That's right. All right, guys, it's time. Clint, hit me. Who is your nominee for the Will Patton Award?
Hightower,
Bubba Smith.
straight across.
He was intimidating.
He was intimidating. Like you remember him being, all right, he's kind of a big guy, whatever, but kind of a kitten.
Yeah.
But no, this was like, this guy's gonna mess you up
For sure.
Yeah.
I bought it. For real. And Donnie Smith, and Donnie Miles also went Bubba Smith. I will not bother with an explanation. Donnie says, but I will ask why bad/tough guys never let dudes finish peeing in movies.
Come on.
Everyone knows the immortal words of Lloyd Christmas. I can't stop once I've started. It stays. I love that movie. So much better than this one. All right, Nicole, who's your, that's 2 for Bubba Smith, but it doesn't mean you have to go there.
I went kind of out on a limb.
Oh, please.
So
I can't wait.
The Italian sidekick to the Italian guy who's going to possibly buy the vehicle.
We didn't even talk about them.
He was just really intense with his Italian. He was just like,
I forgot he spoke Italian too.
when the guy. Okay, they were outside the restaurant before they went in. They were
Yes.
looking at the vehicle.
Yes.
And he's, what did he say? Hold on.
Take your time.
It's like science fiction, no? And then they get into the restaurant and he's whispering and whispers, and he's like, scusi. And it was like super intense. And I was like, you were ready. He was ready.
It's interesting. He said that in Italian because I understood everything that you said there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Is that just Italian just to say, it's like a science fiction?
That's what I mean. Like that actor. I don't know. The Italian, I don't know how.
I love that.
Really.
Here we go.
He's
Let's
a super
go.
now.
Ben Garcia joining us, I'm pretty sure for the first time. So if that's the case, Ben, welcome, buddy. Ben goes, I have to give it to Tommy Lee Jones. He's been the grumpy old guy in movies most of my life, and it was nice watching him in his prime.
Okay.
And so, yeah, look, Tommy Lee Jones is at Tommy Lee Jones level every single movie, and it's like always high in intensity, so I'll never argue with that pick at all. Personally, I'm going Bubba Smith. I thought Tommy was great, but Bubba, I literally, when he said, whatever heat comes out of my head, I'm going to transfer to your body, I was like, I believe him. And so that's my pick because it was legit, to me, intimidating. And we got Bill Gerson, as I said, went with Robert Vaughn all the way. He may not be physically intense like Lee Ving is, but he makes up for that in how he carries himself throughout the film. He had me convinced that he was someone you do not want to cross, and that if I were to get on his bad side, he would have me strangled in an elevator. Bill was just sitting at home grasping the collar of his shirt during that scene going, oh my gosh. Robert Vaughn is an intense guy. Bob, who you got?
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton. What was it? The scene where she was screaming at him through the camera?
And she was driving at the door.
Oh, she was driving to the door.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a great,
Yeah, it was great.
intense scene. All right. That's a good
She's
vote, I
on
think.
Mount Westmore for
female.
female lead badasses.
Yes, 100%.
Love Linda Hamilton.
Vince Hines went Tommy Lee Jones. He actually put TLJ on here. Best person in the whole movie. Everyone else just came for the paycheck. And seems like everyone else was a little bit sleepwalking there. So that's a couple of votes, but I think Bubba Smith is the only one that got 3, which means Bubba Smith is going to win the Will Patton Award for Intensity. So congratulations to Bubba Smith. But runner-up, Tommy Lee Jones. All right, guys, it's time that we now figure out who the worst actor in the movie was. The award that we give out is in the honor of Mr. Steven Seagal. It's the Steven Seagal Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, and neither do they. Love is eternal, and that's a long time.
That's right. Tommy Lee Jones had 72 hours, but that's a long time. Enough time for 4 rounds with Linda Hamilton. Guys, who's your trash can?
Trash can full of dirt.
Yeah.
The pickup artist, because I could actually imagine Steven Seagal being that much of a tool in real life.
That's 100% the part that he would have played.
Yes, absolutely.
I knew you wanted to meet somebody interesting, somebody that likes action. Well, I'm action superstar, Steven Seagal. Never mind. I'm not saying the rest. All right. Donnie went with Linda Hamilton as her trash can.
How dare you?
Terminator are some of the best ideas ever put to film. None of that is because of Linda's acting. She's just not very good at it. And at one point, she is moving her lips to another actor's lines. I actually noticed that. Did you guys notice that? It was one time when she was doing like close talking with Tommy Lee Jones.
Wow.
She literally was moving her mouth to one of his lines. Yeah. She's also horrifically bad at fake driving. Her mannerisms were so exaggerated, I was laughing out loud. She deserves this just for the wig. It looked like a black swan literally burrowing into her cranium. She's bad and dull, the combo of doom.
Jeez, Louise.
Wow. Strong words from Donnie Miles.
Bob, fight. Bob, fight.
Get him, Bob.
That's a
Go get him,
two
Bob.
birds. Get him.
This guy, what's this guy's name?
Donnie.
Never seen a vagina before.
He brings up a lot of good points. Irrefutable points.
I cannot confirm or deny. Nicole.
This is never my favorite.
I know. You like seeing people get hurt, but not giving them trash cans.
If they get hurt, I like to see
watching men
follow through.
bleed. Does Jim know about this?
Yeah.
He was there.
We watch, a lot of these movies we watch together. He knows.
Do you make him bleed?
No, like if he hurts himself, you're like,
Do you pour alcohol in the wound?
No.
Yeah.
Or do you just walk up and punch him right in his bullet hole?
This bullet hole. Jim, I saw that you got shot.
Yeah, it's cool.
Act like it hurts.
Just come on. I will say the guy who drove the big blue truck because it was too fast. It should have been slower. Those trucks don't go fast.
How fast did he drive? Fire him immediately.
That's it.
Oh my gosh.
You'll file.
Oh, you fired.
Yep.
Ben Garcia said, as bad as Linda Hamilton phoned this movie in, Nick Cassavetes as henchman Luis was a tad bit worse, so I give it to Nick Cassavetes.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
he did get shot with a paintball gun.
He
did.
recorded the heck out of that guy, though.
He did.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Clint's going to be confused by this, and I also went with Nick Cassavetes in this, who I actually really like. I know he was in Blind Fury, was a movie we did recently that he was in as one of the brothers, and he was in The Wraith.
He was
But
face off,
Face Off, yes, the bald guy.
bleeding out of his neck.
But he did nothing in this movie. He barely said anything. Even when he did, it was like, where's the Nick charm? Where's the he got nothing. Admittedly given little to do, but in what he had, it was
He
a big.
gave us one of the greatest romance movies of all time.
Well, I know, but he directed The Notebook. Okay, the guy that was the henchman in this movie is the director of The Notebook.
Sure. Yep.
But if I held that against him, he'd get the trash can every movie he's in. I'm not going to hold that against him every single time that he's in here. He's getting it on his own ability. That's it. Where are we at? Okay, Bill said Tina and Quint's romance. On their own, Linda and Tommy Lee Jones' performances were solid. But the romance between their characters, totally unbelievable.
Yep.
They had zero chemistry, and I didn't buy it for a second. Quint and Ringer had more chemistry going on between the two of them with their rivalry. So Bill's like out on their whole thing. Bob, who is your trash can? What?
Leaving.
Leave it. We're spraying all over the place here.
Yeah.
You didn't think with the Ringer, Marvin Ringer.
He was the least intimidating guy I ever seen in my life.
You're like, Linda Hamilton should be the one smacking him around.
Right.
Absolutely.
And his name's a verb. I mean, come on.
When she jumped on him, and I was like, oh, perfect. Linda now gets the chance to beat him up. And she lost that fight. I was like, that's BS.
That is BS.
There's no way Linda
That's
Hamilton.
BS as Mystique beating Wolverine.
Thank you. Thank you. Vince Hines said, I was going to say Nina. That would have been another vote. So 2 almost votes for Linda Hamilton, 1 only actual vote. But it would be the scientist who failed to get run over and decided to become an Olympian and jump the whole.
He's the greatest ass jumper this country's ever seen.
So a vote for Tyke. That means the only person that got 2 votes was Nick Cassavetes, and Nick is going to win the trash can full of dirt award.
R.I.P. Nick. R.I.P.
Luis
in
tried.
peace.
Way to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat there, buddy.
I think he won it on the Wraith, too.
Did he?
I think he did win the
might
trash
have.
can.
Yikes.
He might have. That's a 2 for
Oh,
me.
he
That's
won the
true.
Dudikoff trash can at that point. And then
Yeah.
he won.
And now he's got-
won the stew, too.
He's the only one to have a Dudikoff and a Seagal.
Oh, my God.
How about that?
We got to figure out what the EGOT of the
He got
awards would be.
Eiffel Tower by Dudikoff and Seagal.
Now he's got to get Will Patton at
Right.
some point.
Yep.
Right?
He'll probably
And
get Will
then-
Patton
And then
recover
Steve
Face
James,
Off.
which is our next award, the Steve James Unsung Hero Award.
You know, every place you go, there's always someone who thinks he's a badass, right? Yeah, right. Then there are those few who are. Are you some kind of a badass karate boy?
Steve, don't worry. You will find none of those in this movie. But we have to say, who is the character that, in a small part, was really an unsung hero in this film and made the film better for being in it, even though they had a
Bubba
small
Smith.
role? You're going to give it to Bubba Smith?
Yes.
All right.
Hands down.
He only was in like
He told the guy to
2
put
scenes.
his dick back in his pants.
He ordered it. And
He ordered it. The thing just shriveled up
That's
and
what I'm
zipped
saying,
itself
dude.
up, man.
All right. I respect that pick.
Yeah.
Donnie went with Keenan Wynn. Old school character actor from almost every movie ever made. Strange Love, Once Upon a Time in the West, and even, I forgot about this, he was Chester Cobblepot in the Goonies in this picture in the paper.
Oh,
was
that's
Keenan
right.
Wynn. He just got that down home jovial spirit that makes you want to see more of him on screen. So let's a vote for Bubba Smith and a vote for Keenan Wynn. Clint, who you got?
I don't know who this Keenan Wynn guy is.
He was an Iron Lung guy.
The guy in the,
Oh, the old
hospital
man.
bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Mike.
No, I was definitely gonna go again with Hightower on that.
Bubba Smith.
Yeah.
So why is he called Hightower? Is he a
That was his character's name in Police Academy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, it's
when
okay.
I was a kid, first thing I recognized him from, so forever.
Yeah,
you
it's the only thing
stuck
I've
with
ever
that. Sorry,
seen him
buddy.
in.
Was
This
he
is
a
the first movie I've seen him in that was
pro athlete outside?
Yeah,
of
he was a
police
football
academy?
player.
Okay. What's
Yeah.
his team?
I don't remember.
The,
So I guess
United States football.
Screw me. I
It
guess.
wasn't.
I don't know.
It wasn't the Bears or the Packers.
No. The United States sports team.
Yep.
All right, Ben Garcia went with William Marquez as Reynoso. This is the businessman who got choked in the. That guy comes strutting in with his J.C. Penney 3-piece suit in the middle of the movie, hurling insults in Spanish, only to get garroted in the lift a few moments later.
Right.
Had nothing to do with the movie, but I thought it was hilarious. So Ben is just sitting at home while this guy's getting choked out, going, hilarious.
So this. Never mind.
Nicole, who you got?
Iron John, Keenan Wynn.
Keenan Wynn.
Yeah,
All right, so
definitely.
it's 2 for Bubba, 2 for Keenan Wynn.
Arm wrestling contest between Clint and Nicole. Go
You really
now.
like him. Did you
I
remember
will
him from the
lose.
other movies?
I know he did a lot of stuff. I
Yes.
wouldn't have been able to list them.
No, I got you. Bill Gertzen went with the guy from the Betsy. This guy, this is the same person that you voted for Will Patton, right? Or the trash can.
Yeah.
This guy greatly amused me, and I'm not even sure why. I think it would have been hilarious to see him as a recurring character that shows up at random points throughout the film, always using that same one line every time to pick up ladies. Could have been awesome.
Like just getting slapped down time after time, and in one time he just like walking away with a girl. You don't even see him; but he's just walking away with one.
He walks
Thumbs
into
up.
he walks into Ryland's office while they're watching the video with her, and she's like, "What's going on in here?"
Yeah, I bet she'd like to meet somebody interesting.
It's ridiculous. Here, Vince went with Bubba Smith, Hightower himself. It was nice to see him, and he was in the Police Academy, and so Vince was like loved him from that movie. So that's 3 for Bubba. I went with the guy from the Betsy as my unsung hero. I thought it was the funniest. I mean, he's a sleazeball, but it's the thing I remembered coming out of this movie. Like, that tool in the bar? It was the most ridiculous thing.
The scene didn't need to be that long. But it was
None of
funny.
that. But Bubba Smith is ultimately going to win the
Wow.
Will Patton Award. So is that 2? Did he get the Will? Or he got the Will Patton? I just said Will Patton again, didn't I? So Bubba Smith is going to win the Unsung Hero Award. Congrats to Bubba Smith. I know it was 2 minutes ago, but I already forgot. Did he win the Will Patton also?
I do believe.
Yeah. Did he? Okay.
He did.
The double up from Bubba. Gotta love it, man.
If we were
Bub
playing,
dubs.
were you paying attention?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
We were not.
None of us were.
Apparently not. But
We
here's
live
what
in the
we are
now.
going to do.
Okay, we live in the now.
We're pulling up to the station.
Yeah.
We're going to hop on the train,
Yeah.
and it's heading to Positivity Station. Okay.
Wow.
This is where we say, maybe we hated this movie, but what are 3 things that they did right? What are 3 things that you enjoyed? Some forced positivity about Black Moon Rising, starting with Clint.
You can't say you didn't enjoy Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay.
I enjoyed Tommy Lee Jones. He did a him job. You know, it was awesome. I love the cars. I'm a car guy. I just like looking through it. It's like I owned half of the cars, and that's not true, right? But like you're looking around, I was like, I had one of those. Hey, that was cool. I like.
Did you have a Dodge Daytona?
I had a Daytona. I had several Omnis, which were very family of the same car.
So you don't mean Matchbox?
No, it means
no. Okay, you never know.
I've owned way too many cars.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
For some for a very long time, some for not long at all. Some I owned and never even drove.
I love it.
But yeah, no. And then as far as the third thing, I just kind of just dig watching the scene, the breakout scene with the car, and then the jumping across. So like that, and the heist itself, the build up for the whole thing. I actually enjoyed that. Yeah. The break in, the lasers. Yeah.
Donnie Miles said the 80s tech, code breaking nonsense gadgetry, camera blinding laser beams, car phones that would put you in a cast if you dropped one on your foot. It's true. Plus the fastest garage door ever made. That's right, buddy. I absolutely hate the car, however. 2, Bubba's quote, I'm going to take all the heat that comes out of my head and transfer it to your body. He shuddered just typing it. And number 3, Robert Vaughn shaking with pleasure as he watched one of his thugs strangle a dude. Gives you an insight into his insanity and what he clearly gets off on. Yeah, we didn't really mention that, but he was kind of like vibrating with glee while the dude was getting killed in that elevator.
Gross.
Nicole, hit me with your top 3.
The few moments of the film where I got to see our deaf friend truly full of joy. That was number 1 because he was just like, "Hey,
Tyke,
I have a friend." Oh, his name was Tyke. I didn't know what his name was. He never said.
No.
Number 2 would be, I guess, falling along that tech portion. The very beginning when they were like writing on the black computer screen with the light blue writing. That was pretty rad. And then, the last moments of the film, when finally Linda Hamilton seemed to be having a pleasant interaction with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
Tulge, TLJ.
Jesus. It gets better.
Tulge.
You just got told.
Oh my gosh. All right. Ben Garcia said the 80s. Come on, everything from wood grain paneling interior walls to Motorola Dynatoc brick phones, bad guys firing Mac 10 Uzis from the hip, and a Buck 03 for a pack of smokes. It was the peak of humanity before we all got plugged into the simulation. All right, Ben. The prototype hydrogen car with the backup camera way ahead of its time. The 80s is the decade of the ugliest cars ever manufactured, and this car was no exception.
And not manufactured.
And he also, he said he loved it. And then, of course, Tommy Lee Jones. Ben is going to round out his top 3 with there. Look, what did the filmmakers do right? I think the first right thing they did was cast Tommy Lee Jones. I think he is one of those guys that just wins no matter what he's in. Didn't have a lot to do here, but I loved him. I love his Tommy Lee Jones, witty, fast-talking banter, right? Oh, you must have had yours in private, like that, all that stuff. Loved that stuff. And also, I think I liked the car action scenes. I just wanted more. Like the chase with Linda Hamilton, cool. The heist thing at the end where they're all running around, loved it. But give me more. You make the cover of the movie and the trailer look like there's going to be all this car stuff, and there's probably a combined 5-10 minutes of it in the whole movie. So should have been more. I guess this is kind of a backhanded compliment, but what they did have, I thought they did really well. That's just me. Bill Gerson said, number 3, Linda Hamilton. Sure, she was no Sarah Connor in this, but she was animated and entertaining, especially her facial expressions. Just watch the scene where she's driving towards the door to leave Ryland's place. Yeah, she made about every face a human could make during that drive up to the door.
Probably the director was like, give me more. I need more. And she was like, all right.
The black moon launching through a window and soaring through the sky into another parking garage. I was hoping to see it fly through the air at some point, and the movie gave me exactly what I wanted. And one, Quint and Ringer's rivalry. From their first interaction right down to the final showdown, Tommy Lee and Lee Ving interacted so well with each other that I thoroughly enjoyed every time they were on screen. See? Bill loved Ringer, Bob.
Good for him.
Be positive. I know you hated it. You stated it 5 minutes into the episode.
Oh.
But if you got to say 3 things they did right here, what did you take away from this movie that was good?
I enjoyed the stunts.
Okay.
The car stuff.
All right.
Linda Hamilton.
Perfect. Is that
not in that kind of way?
You did it.
Yeah.
You did so well.
If we don't tell him that we count that as 3, he'll give us a 4th.
Well, the car stuff and the stunts, I think, are 1.
What's that?
So I think you gave us 2, right? The car stuff and
Yeah,
stunts.
let's
is
say
one?
it's 3 car stunts.
Okay.
Car stunts and a babe.
His
There
well
you
was
go.
dry. There's nothing.
Car stunts and a babe.
Yeah.
You know when the
All right.
cars.
Bob.
My brain fizzed out right there. just done.
I love it. I was
love
just
it.
gonna say when the car was going across in the air.
Yes.
There's a sound that they use that's I feel like they use in other movies when like people were turning into like characters.
Yeah, like the $6 Million
Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what it was.
100%. Yes.
Ah, thank you.
Vince said, look, one, the movie tropes themselves, this movie made no sense and they were laughably bad. Laughably bad. That's hard to say. How does Marvin know anything that's going on? He just learned Quint's plan from who? Then sometimes everyone decided to know nothing because plot. 2, Tommy Lee Jones, he sold everything that happened the whole movie from getting beat up to crossing a fake gap between towers and making it somewhat tense. And three, the stuntmen who agreed to do the insane things. You could pause it on certain scenes and just know it was not the actor. So kudos to the stunt people from Vince. All great takes there, gentlemen. Thank you guys for participating. But it is time that we land this plane. We need to give a final rating. We're going to go backwards this time. Bob, I want to start with you. I want you to be the first one to just unburden yourself. Okay, you had to give an hour and 40 minutes of your life to watching Black Moon Rising. If you were to explain it to somebody when they say, "Hey, should I see this movie?" What would you say to them?
No. Do you like watching donkeys get hit by semis?
Is this a new TV show idea? Are you pitching me a?
So it's bad? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, that's more entertaining than this movie. And the movie's terrible. That's
It's
it.
a bad movie straight up.
Yeah, it's like a shit you can't get out your asshole. It's terrible.
Perfect. I think that's clear enough visual language that we all understand how you feel.
You ever had that? You just get stuck.
Yeah, twice today.
It's happening right now.
My apologies. Sorry.
Well, don't apologize. That's why you're here to give your opinion. If that's your opinion,
Yeah.
you know,
It's a stuck turd.
it's all good, man.
Colon shaft.
All right. Donnie Miles said this movie hits the trifecta of doom. It's stupid. The premise that hundreds of cars are stolen in a major city and taken to a local fortress that a simple thief found in one night, but the cops can't crack this case. It's boring. Nothing happens. Even the car-creaming death of Larry from Newhart is done in dragging slow-mo, and it's bad. So stupid, boring, bad. Trying to cash in on the 80s tech movie bandwagon, but doing it much worse than most people. I love Tommy Lee Jones. I love Tolge. Who doesn't? But this movie is warm garbage juice. Bad movie. Full stop. Second vote for bad movie. Clint, what do you got?
That's backwards, Bob to me. All right, that's fine.
Oh, you're right. I forgot I was saying backwards.
We'll allow it.
I'll go. Let's go. It's my turn then. Here we go.
We're gonna say the same thing.
This movie sucks. It's bad, stupid, lame, slow, and dumb. Clint.
Like I said, we're gonna say the same thing. This movie isn't great. It's bad. This is a bad movie. There's no other way around it. This is a bad movie. If you take this thing and cut it down, take 40 minutes off it, make it an hour, make it a TV special, and make it 40 minutes,
Yeah.
put commercials in it, make it a TV show of some type, even a pilot for an episode or a show that's not going to make it.
Yeah.
It's better than it is right now.
Yeah.
There's too much nothing happening
Yeah.
to make the little bright spots shine.
I got you.
They should put it on during colonoscopies.
Perfect.
They might. You don't know. You'll find out.
That's right.
Ben Garcia said this is not a good movie. The chemistry between Linda and Tommy, weak. As is Linda's performance in part of the movie. This movie could have benefited from a stunt coordinator. A lot of the action sequences cut out right before points of impact, which is just bizarre. However, I was captured by the movie from start to finish, glancing at TikTok only a few times. Therefore, a bad movie that rules from Ben Garcia.
Really?
Interesting. Yeah. So, Nicole, where do you land on...
I hate to say that it's a bad movie, but it is.
Yeah.
The chemistry's gone. And I think the back of the envelope where the plot was written was really cool.
Yes.
The idea could have been, different director, different actors, different. It could have been something.
They should just let John Carpenter do it.
Right. Just when he passed it off, you're like, no, we want you. Don't go anywhere. Where are you leaving?
Yeah.
You left the script.
Just give him an I'm
left.
rubber, you're glue.
That's right.
Uno reverse.
Maybe he knew something,
Maybe it was a 40-page script, and that's all he had.
That's probably all it was. Bill Gerson said, I know zero about this movie going in, and the description didn't help. So I initially expected a different kind of movie, and I realized it was more of a heist film and not a car chase film. I actually enjoyed it more. The car, though underutilized, was still pretty awesome. While there was a lot going on the whole time, I never felt like the movie got bogged down, and I felt it progressed at a good pace with a great build-up for the finale. The soundtrack helped a lot, and if I could find it, I would listen to it outside of the movie. Bill wants the soundtrack.
Hit him with the
sweet synth, man. I'll tell you what, Bill, I'll read the rest of this with some of the soundtrack playing. Okay, buddy? The film has some flaws, Bill says.
It just got hot.
But it's not enough to take away from my enjoyment. Sometimes I question if my extreme tolerance to crappy movies causes me to think terrible movies are actually good. It's crazy. I can honestly say after watching this one twice, I did it twice, that it's a solid film. So for me, it's a good movie that rules. Bill Gerson.
Delete this guy's internet account.
Wow.
Bill was all in, man.
He was the one.
He was the one out of four, I suppose, of the people that joined in. We were 0 for 4 here. I mean, we still got one more. Vince Hines has got to weigh in.
Oh, no.
Vince goes, look, it is barely a bad movie that rules. This is one where you go in with low expectations, but you see an actor who should upscale the movie and does, but he is the only one doing anything the whole movie. And to the last 30 minutes, we got a poorly shot car scenes that jump around super hard and people just being very nonchalant when things should have required much more of a sense of urgency. Yes, thank you. One of my biggest complaints, Vince, about this movie. But yes, you nailed it. So that's sounds like our patrons liked it a lot more than we did. I think there was only one bad movie vote.
Maybe they have hope in their hearts.
Maybe they do. And that's why we love them.
That's right.
And, just because we all came to the correct conclusion. Oh, yeah, Clint.
If it weren't for them
just kidding,
enjoying things that suck a little more than most, they probably wouldn't be our patrons.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I love these guys.
All right, yeah.
So no hatred towards them. They got a chance to come on and give their opinion and express their opinions.
They are valid.
And saved it from a clean, sweet, bad movie across the board.
Yeah.
I think we ended up with, if I counted that right, 5 bad movies, 2 bad movie that rules, and 1 good movie.
And a partridge in a pear
tree. In a pear tree. So we move on to hopefully greener pastures. Please let there be greener pastures. Next week, we're talking about another video game movie. We've done Street Fighter was a video game movie. I feel like we've done at least, and that's now, of course, drawing a blank, at least one other video game movie in there. So Werewolves Within was a video game movie. Mm-hmm. And now we jump into, was it 1994?
1994, Double Dragon.
Double Dragon, baby.
With Robert Patrick, Scott Wolf, and Mark Diascos.
Look, more Terminator actors. That's right. How bad could it be? We move on from Sarah Connor and we're going to the T-1000, right? Yep. Robert Patrick, 2 years after playing the Terminator.
The six skunk split haired.
That's right. Yeah. I've never seen the movie. I'm excited for it. But it's you said Mark Dacascos is in it, right? And
that Van Damme movie was a video game movie too, with the
Street Fighter.
Well, Street Fighter,
not that one. The other one where he goes
knockoff. No. There's a video game where you and Rob Schneider have to make imposter
move that sweet Belgian ass.
Where they go to the tournament.
Bloodsport.
That wasn't like
no.
That was something like that.
No, they tried to make Mortal Kombat off of that.
That's
and
what
they
I'm
couldn't
saying.
get him to sign up for it.
That was as close as we can get.
So yeah, it is what it is. But we're gonna be diving into Double Dragon, which was a game I played a ton of on the NES, the original side-scrolling beat 'em up from the home console. I'm sure there were ones that.
This is one where you beat the crap out of the cars and it knocks the hood and windshields in and stuff like that too. Like you're coming across, there's like a portion of it.
If there was, maybe I don't remember that personally.
You just kick out everything in the.
I just remember the big, like you'd fight little dudes, and then occasionally this big giant bald dude would come out, and you'd have to, the Adobo guy, whatever the guy's name was, a Bobo. I don't remember. Did no one else besides me play Double Dragon?
I played Double Dragon.
I know I played it. I just can't recognize which one it is.
One guy was a red dragon. One guy was a blue dragon.
All right, well, go home. Don't watch the movie. Just play the game. And I'm sure we'll figure out what the plot of the movie is the whole time. We'll see.
Yeah.
You've seen the movie before?
Yeah, as many times.
Is it good? What am I in for? Tell me.
I can't tell you.
All right, don't tell me yet.
We'll ruin the suspense. We'll just
Nicole's going to go home and watch Double Dragon. She doesn't even have to be here for the episode.
Nicole's going to go home
probably
and pour
just
herself
wanna
a nice
watch it.
glass of wine and ice her eyeballs after she
All right.
just watched Black Moon Rising.
Just ice cubes directly on her eyeballs.
She's going to knock the windshield out.
And then
on
she's
the
going to
drive
have
home,
that
but lice it for her.
saxophone in her head.
Jim is gonna hold your eyeballs open while you place 2 ice cubes directly on your pupils. Guys, I just want to say, as we sign off, thank you for joining us today on Bad Movies Rule. And we look forward to the next time. We'll see you next week for Double Dragon.
Does Jim ever say, "Give me your purse, I want to put my sex on you"?
No.
One time in a movie.
One time in a movie, he did.
It was an act.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. Wow.
I think someone just got pregnant listening to this episode.
The sax music is pouring through my brain now.
We need the Tolge to save us. Where are you at, Tommy?
Newman, what are you doing?
TLJ Radio FM.
You only got 72 hours now. Please, just leave her alone. You only have so much time. Tolge.
You should have just put the cassette in your underwear.
Whole friggin' last half was just about sex. Dude, that's all it was.
He had pants pockets. You know what I mean? Cassette tapes fit in pants pockets. No problem.